All right, everybody, we're going to start our meeting. It's nice to have so many people here. We really appreciate it. And so let's call this meeting to order, Tuesday, April 15th, 2025 at 5:05 p.m. I think that's what the clock says. So let's call the meeting to order. So let's start with closed session. Is there anything to report out of closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. The Town Council met in closed session with respect to the item on the closed session agenda, and there is no reportable action. That concludes the report.
All right, thank you. And let's do our call to order, the roll call.
Council members Abel,
Present.
Dennison,
Here.
Lombardo,
Here.
Schooler, and Mayor Droz.
Here.
And Mayor, at your designation, we'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance immediately followed by the invocation given by Pastor Mark Tometz, First Christian Church of Yucca Valley. If everyone could please stand and remain standing until after the invocation.
And I'd like to say our incredible town attorney or lawyer or attorney, Tom Jex, is going to be starting us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Thank you. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, Lord, we come before you tonight and ask for your grace. We ask for your wisdom. Father, I pray for a special blessing on all the leaders in this town to guide us and lead us. Father, I pray that you would be with them, giving them the wisdom that they require to make good choices for the benefit of all those in Yucca Valley. Thank you for this wonderful town that we get to live in and for your creation that surrounds us. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Now, at this time, we have presentations, introductions, recognitions, which is the California Welcome Center update. Oh, and it's Linda. Oh, both of you.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm here to let you know what the Welcome Center has been doing. So first of all, the responsibility of DARTA, who oversees the Welcome Center, is to run the operations of the California Welcome Center, which includes staffing, marketing our area, and a gift shop where travelers can pick up souvenirs during their trip. Our main purpose is to help travelers with their travel plans to our area, and our current funding from the town is $120,000 a year to help us fulfill our main purpose. Go ahead and next slide. Or can I do this here? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thanks. So the California Welcome Center is open 7 days a week, 361 days a year, with a dedicated staff and volunteers helping visitors to the area with information on things to do during their visit. They assist travelers providing recommendations on sites to see and local businesses to visit. So who's stopping by the Welcome Center these days? So in 2024, we helped over 26,000 guests at the Welcome Center. We saw an increase of 18% in international visitors to the area. And during the first quarter of 2025, we've seen a 15% increase in visitors during that same period in 2024. Our daily Hummer tours of the area meet at the Welcome Center, and they take visitors to the national park. And on some days, we have as many as 4 tours with up to 8 visitors per tour. Recently, we had a few school groups from areas outside of the Morongo Unified School District meet at the Welcome Center before heading to the park and Indian Cove for field trips. So local business partner opportunities, we continue to promote local businesses through our backlit panel and business wall programs where they can advertise their business in those locations. In June 2024, Visit California installed a new interactive digital kiosk where visitors can find things to do, see upcoming events, and have fun with a photo booth that's featured in that digital kiosk. There's also other welcome centers, California welcome centers, that have a kiosk in their location, and all of those kiosks are networked together. So someone in a different area can look up our area and plan their visit for when they come to us and vice versa. We hope to see more of those digital kiosks in other locations. Right now, there's 5 California Welcome Centers that have those kiosks. We sold 619 park passes in 2024, which was an increase of 40% from the year prior. We've added the new pedestrian pass that the National Park Service now requires for commercial tours, and that started January 1st, 2025. Also, our model for selling park passes here gave way to Ridgecrest also doing the same in their area, and we hope to see other welcome centers do the same for national parks around where they are as well. Our gift shop update. Our gift shop continues to grow with 2024 gross revenue coming in at $186,000, which was an increase of 36% from 2023. We also launched our new e-commerce store in 2024. Our newly installed art corner showcases our art contest winners, which you can see there at the top in the top picture. And it's a beautiful new addition to our store. We also added in 2024, we added Brandini coffee to our sweet selections. And of course, we still offer See's candy. We also had a joint chamber mixer in December, and that saw over 200 guests. So it was a big success. 2024, we had our 6th annual art contest. We received over 70 entries in that art contest. We've recently opened up this year's contest, and we'll be taking entries between now and the beginning of September. Our art contest fosters creativity and showcases the vibrant art scene that we have here in the desert. Highway 62 Art Studios, Highway 62 Art Tour. We were a part of that again last year. We helped distribute art catalogs. We also mailed some of those out, so we were a resource for mailing out catalogs, and I think that was the first year that it was done. Our center mailed out 45 catalogs prior to the art tours even starting. And we'll be doing the same thing again this year. We'll be partnering with Highway 62 art tours as well. Also, in partnership with Highway 62 art tours and the town, we designed a limited edition welcome bag, which included the 2024 catalog and some items from some of our business partners as well. The welcome bag logo was produced by Martha Weir and has a beautiful heart-shaped graphic with the Joshua tree in the center. And we also partnered with local custom screen printer t-shirts to produce the bag itself. Go backwards. I'm going the wrong way here.
Missing.
And one more, there we go. Okay. Visit California hosted their quarterly meeting in Modesto this year, which was their most recent welcome center that was opened during the end of the year. So we were treated to a tour of downtown Modesto, and while we were there, we also participated in an olive tasting. and visited an olive farm, and we were also treated to one of 3 adventures during one of the evenings while we were there. In May 2025, Visit California will be opening their 24th California Welcome Center. And future meetings may include us here in Yucca Valley hosting a quarterly meeting. Nothing's been set yet, but we're hopeful that we are one of the hosts in 2025. Outlook Forum, that is also hosted by Visit California. Let's see. The conference, the Outlook Forum is a conference for leaders in California's tourism industry, and it provides a platform to share insights, strategies, and networking to enhance travel initiatives. The printed program that was available featured Joshua Tree Candle Company and the collaboration between the California Welcome Center, JT Candle Company, and Visit California on creating a state-scented candle. And those have been distributed throughout all of the California Welcome Centers in the state. Also, while I was there, I had the opportunity of meeting up with Joanne with Visit Greater Palm Springs and Brianne with Visit 29 Palms while I was there. Hot topics during Outlook were the Canada-American relations, and their concern was that Canadians may not be traveling to the U.S. as much as they had in the past. The other hot topic was Mexico and America relations as well, was equal concern. Travel Adventure Show was held in Washington, D.C. It was actually the last of 9 shows that were held within the year, within the last few months. So, and Visit Greater Palm Springs invited us as one of their travel partners and helped partner with us so that we could attend that show. It provides a platform for networking and showcasing travel options. The focus for us was on the California desert region, which includes Ridgecrest up north down to Anza Borrego down south. While there, we provided information on the attractions, events, and unique travel experiences available in our California deserts. The reason that Visit Greater Palm Springs chose Washington, D.C. for this particular time was because United just recently launched a direct flight from Palm Springs to Washington, D.C., and that was why D.C. was chosen. They had virtual reality glasses there, which were a big hit again this year, and it featured virtual trips to Joshua Tree National Parks, Palm Springs Oasis, and other landmark sites in our desert. IPW focuses more on the international market, and Visit Greater Palm Springs has invited us to attend IPW this year, like I said, being held in Chicago in June. Also, Ridgecrest is going to be attending that show as well. We have another opportunity to position California deserts as a preferred destination for travelers from around the world, and that is one of the main focuses that will be at IPW. And our future plans. So as we continue to market and grow our area, some things we're working on at the California Welcome Center is expanding our gift store as space allows, offering artist workshops as space and staffing allows, showcasing local musicians by offering their LPs in our store, offering book signings for local authors, expanding advertising opportunities to more local businesses, continue working with the chamber and its members, and coordinating fam tours with travel operators to bring more travelers to our area. In summary, the recent activities of the California Welcome Center reflect our commitment to enhancing tourism through strategic engagement and community involvement. As we look to the future, we will continue to implement new strategies and participate in key events that promote Yucca Valley as a premier travel destination. That concludes my report.
Mayor and council, just a couple of additional comments. We're very appreciative of the California Welcome Center and the work that they've been doing. Linda and Kathy have been great partners for the town, and we continue to look into ways that we can engage in the future and even strengthen the attractability of our market for tourism. As you know, as you go through your budget development, tourism has become a very significant part of your revenue stream here in Yucca Valley, and so we continue to look for ways that we can expand the visitation here in the area. So thank you both to you both, and for the work that the Welcome Center is doing.
Yes. So let's see if anyone in the public would like to ask a question. Is there anybody in the public that would like to ask a question to the California Welcome Center? Nobody online? One person online? Or two, I don't know.
Eric Menendez, we are requesting you to unmute, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Right there, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hey there. So I just wanted to come in and thank Kathy and Linda for all the work they do at the Welcome Center. For the past 8 years, I would say, I've been kind of going in there back prior when we were doing Desert Beacon, which was property management in all 3 cities, all three areas up here. And Kathy, I know Linda's newer to the position, but Kathy was always a great resource for us. I think, we've been chatting with, we're working on a regional concept via Joshua Tree Gateway Communities Alliance. And I know we have been talking with a lot of about our passport. I'm not sure if you see video. Do you see video with me or not? I don't know. But anyways, this is the regional passport we're working on. And it's going to emphasize, we're happy to say that the High Desert Nature Museum will be taking a spread of pages inside. And we would love to have the California Welcome Center involved with partnering on this, because they are definitely one of our major 2 tourism partners in the Morongo Basin. I definitely think there are lots of opportunities. I think that we could look at tourism as an entire basin to increase funding. I was having a discussion with Mayor Lombardo and Curtis, Councilmember Lombardo and Curtis this morning at the Marquez Park event, where we were talking about the county's missed opportunity to capitalize on that Measure H, I believe, bringing their TOT from 7.5 to bring it up to 11, which would be more near market rate. Unfortunately, that failed, but we're hoping that if we work together as a region, we can help to maybe bring that to the table again, and also explore the concept of a regional tourism district assessment, possibly. There are many different ways to do it. And as we were speaking this morning about how Visit Greater Palm Springs funds their operations with the 9 lower desert cities, whether it's a percentage of a district assessment or not, there are ways the towns and the city of 29 Palms hopefully could partner. As you know, my business was in 29 Palms, and I spent a lot of times working with 29 Palms, and but they also have a different way to doing things here. So but we're hoping down the line we can bring everyone to the table to pull our resources, because this basin brings in over $25 million in transient occupancy tax revenue every year. And unfortunately, only about a very small percentage of that goes into funding operations such as the California Welcome Center and regional tourism marketing, such as akin to Visit Greater Palm Springs. I don't have a timer here, so I don't know how I'm doing, but I think I've pretty much said what I have to say. I just want to emphasize how important the work Linda and Kathy do at the Welcome Center is, and I hope the town can continue to look at tourism. I think it's very important because it gives us a lot of revenue to do things for the public. And lastly, one last thing, the opening of the downtown park, I think that's going to be a huge, huge thing for Yucca Valley, because this is something the folks in downtown Joshua Tree have been asking the county for a decade. And Yucca Valley's been able to do something very similar by creating a unified parking spot and somewhere for people to park to patronize the downtown businesses. And I think this is going to be an example that Yucca Valley can set for the entire region. And I can't wait to see it open. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Yes, your time's up, but thank you so much. Is there anyone else online? No. Okay, let's bring it back to the council. Anybody have any comments?
I want to say how impressed I am with the progress of the Welcome Center and the two of you, Linda and Kathy, how you incorporate innovative ideas, and you've made this area kind of a leader in the Welcome Center with these new things that you've brought in that are spreading throughout the state. I think that's awesome, and it just shows how much effort you put in and how people are responding to your leadership, and we want to thank you for being good representatives of our area and bringing our wonderful environment to the attention of people all over the state of California and all over the world. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you again, congratulations. The quality of the Welcome Center has continued to go up and up and up and up. And if you've been here long enough, you know how it sort of started and where it is today. When I go on vacation, I stop at every Welcome Center that I have time for, and I purposely go in to see what they have versus what we have. And I will tell you, we hold our own very strongly, if not better than most. It is very impressive. Also, it's got to be a lot of fun to have the chamber mixers because so many people come in and I'm sure they give you all kinds of compliments like, wow, this is something else. And they don't realize how much work has gone into it. And the quality of the locals' merchandise and the local things that people can purchase and also remember their time here. Very good quality. I mean, it's not like embarrassing, chinky kind of stuff. It's all really wonderfully presented and also displayed. Your staff, always very polite. I hear them interacting with people as they come in. It's so fun to hear people with accents from all over the world coming in and speaking about the area and getting their questions answered. So just a fantastic, fantastic job, and 36% increase is just phenomenal. We don't see that in sales tax increases or anywhere else. So whatever you're doing, I think you can go out there and sell it to somebody else, but good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody over here?
Sure. Thank you for the report, you guys. Awesome. About the last 6 or 7 years, we've had this tourism bubble, and to keep it from waning and becoming irrelevant, you guys have taken a leadership role in that to keep us relevant and to keep us on everybody's bucket list. And I think, that's really important to our local economy. I appreciate the collaboration with Visit Greater Palm Springs. That was not easy to get into and get them to include us. I know that from the past. I think you said, Linda, there's 24 California Welcome Centers now?
There will be as of May.
Okay,
23 right now. Half Moon Bay opens in May.
Yeah, well, when we came on board, I think there was about half of that, and we were the new guys, and getting that designation is not to be taken lightly. That's an honor, especially for an area like ours, to insert ourselves into that system and get that designation and get on the map in the state of California. I think that's huge, and keeping it going. You guys have done a great job with that. I like the future plans. I like how the Welcome Center and museum are both considered partners in tourism. I think that speaks well for what we're doing here. So good job on that. And I appreciate the online comments about the Old Town parking facility that we have going in, that a lot of the impetus for that was to get tourists out of their cars and visiting Old Town and supporting the merchants there. So we're pretty excited about that as well. So I think I appreciate the comments on that. So great job, great report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those comments were well earned, so thank you to both of you. I haven't been into the Welcome Center in a while, but your digital kiosk has got me coming back again. I want to see that. And I'll just say I like how you clearly put yourself in a position that we're regional. You're talking about Palm Springs, you're talking about 29 Palms, you're talking about during traveling, going to events, promoting our area, that you're working with those other desert areas also, so we can build the synergy. We see the tour groups from the low desert coming up. I see them all the time in the parking lot, so those folks can have a better experience for the time that they're traveling instead of just looking out, into the desert. So a lot of strong work. Thank you very much. And Yeah, it's nice to know that we can continue to partner ourselves with the town. We want the building to continue to be a safe haven for you guys, but a wonderful experience for all the visitors that come to our area. So just thanks again. Good work. And the mixers are a lot of fun and well attended.
They are a lot of fun.
Yes, they are. And thank you for Linda and Kathy for everything you do. It's really incredible. Every time I go in there, I'm in awe. It's like something changes. It's always better. It's improved. And I know you two work really hard. And let's get together and talk about doing soda with the mayor there sometime.
Yes, not a bad idea.
Yeah, so we did it like 4 years ago. So yeah, I'd like to do that again. But anyway, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So now we have the approval of the agenda.
Mayor,
So-
I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda as prepared.
Second.
Second.
Abel first and Schooler second.
Council members Abel.
Yes.
Dennison.
Yes.
Lombardo.
Yes.
Schooler.
Yes.
And Mayor Droz.
Yes. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are routine matters of formal documents covering previous town council instruction. Items are enacted by one motion and a second without separate discussion unless a member of the town council or town staff requests dialogue on a specific item at the beginning of the meeting. Requests for public comment on the consent agenda items should be filed with the town clerk. So is there anybody in the public that has filed any? No, no one? Okay, anybody online? No? So let's bring it back to the council.
Mayor, I'd like to pull item 6 for discussion.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll make a motion that we approve tonight's consent agenda, items 2 through 8, excluding 6.
Dennison will second.
Council members Abel.
Yes.
Dennison.
Yes.
Lombardo.
Yes.
Schooler.
Yes.
And Mayor Droz.
Yes. Now I guess we need to discuss item number 6.
I was just going to ask the town staff to, again, give a review or an overview of the Measure Z funding and how that process works.
Happy to do that, Councilmember Abel. Mayor and Council, Measure Z, as you recollect, is a voter-approved measure. It was reauthorized in November of 2024 at a rate of 83% approval, the highest of any special revenue measure in the state of California. It's a half-cent sales tax that is essentially passed through to the High Desert Water District that is intended and allocated for reduction of wastewater assessment for those ratepayers, property owners in Assessment District 1. That is the assessment district that was formed by High Desert Water District voters for the Phase 1 sewer system. This provides roughly $3 million, or about anywhere from 50 to 60% of the annual cost for those property owners that are in that assessment district. The changes that were proposed simply extend the agreement for an additional 10 years to be consistent with the expiration as reauthorized by the voters in November. Conclude staff report. Happy to answer any other questions.
My other question was, approximately what percentage of sales tax comes from outside of our area?
So our last analysis was done by Dr. Husing, and it was somewhere around 51% of sales tax is generated from visitation outside of the town of Yucca Valley limits.
So the idea behind the measure, which was approved by the citizens, voters of Yucca Valley, was that half cent to help offset the cost of the improvements, which we've already seen the water district put in a wastewater treatment plant and also did Phase 1, and then help alleviate some of the burden upon the residents since so many people from outside of the area come and use our facilities, use our restaurants, use our our department stores and so forth, that they could help us. And a lot of our citizens are on fixed income, and financially, the water treatment plant is a financial burden. So I'm pleased that the voters, again, approved it for the next 10 years, and that we don't take any administration fees. The half cent goes directly to the water district on that portion of Measure Z.
So the ordinance allows a 5%
5%.
Administrative fee to cover the required audits that are necessary in the accounting that occurs with this measure. But absolutely correct, Mayor Pro Tem, and I think that message resonated well with the voters, which is why you received an 83% approval in this community.
All right. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else?
I'd like to move the item if there's no other discussion.
I'll second.
Council members Abel,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Droz.
Yes. Now we're moving on to department reports. So let's start with item number 9.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is Town Project Number 8053, Macros Park and Playground Replacement Project. This is a notice of completion of the project. And the recommendation before you tonight, that is the Town Council accepts the project as substantially completed, authorize staff to file the notice of completion, authorizes the reduction of the faithful performance bond to 10%, and direct staff to retain the labor material bond for 6 months for the project. As just a prior review of this project, in November 5 of 2024, the Town Council awarded the construction contract to Micon Construction Incorporated in the amount of $263,297, establishing construction contingency in the amount of $26,700. The Town Council approved the plans and specification for the project and authorized the Town Clerk to advertise and receive bids on August 20 of 2024. The project is consisting of demolishing and the existing basketball court that we have at Macros Park, and also demolishing the old equipment and replace it with the new equipment. The picture that you see on the slide right now is the old basketball court, and you can see how it was damaged. And of course, the old equipment, that is what we have, what we used to have at the park at that time. So with that project brought to the residents of Yucca Valley is a new basketball court, as you can see. Very nice. People like it. We've been getting a lot of compliments on it. And of course, a new playground equipment that's suited for children between the age of 5 and 12. This is another shot from what is the improvement that was done. Another shot of the playground equipment that the town did provide for the residents. And of course, this is from this morning ribbon cutting ceremony that is the town council, and appreciate that they're attending for today. And as you can see, the kids start playing on the basketball court, which is we're very happy with that. Just to, of course, highlight the funding for the project. The project was completely funded by Measure Y. As you can see, we will receive $300,000 for the funding. We used $274.75, and there is $9,700 and change have left from the project. So that is the recommendation before you tonight, is that the town council accepts the project as substantially complete, authorizes staff to file the notice of completion, authorizes the reduction of the faithful performance bond to 10%, and directs staff to retain labor and material bond for 6 months for the project. That concludes staff report. We'll be happy to answer any questions following public comments.
Thank you, Alex. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on item number 9? Anyone online? There is somebody online.
Yes, we have Eric Menendez. I have requested you to unmute. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hey there, it's me again. I just wanted to comment on this item, and I also would like to say thank you guys for having this option for people to zoom in and do public comment. I really wish we had this in the next town over. I just wanted to say thank you for the Coffee with the Mayor event today that was held at Macros Park. I think they did a fantastic job. I think it's so important to make sure the public knows about how important this measure is to funding projects like this. And just also commend Alex's department for doing such a great job with it. And that's all. I'll keep it brief. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Anyone else online? No. So let's take it back to council. I'll start it off with saying we had the ribbon cutting this morning, and it was a great event. There were kids there, there were parents there, and then we had soda with the mayor afterwards. And it really was a nice event, really impressive to see all the improvements. And of course, the weather was perfect this morning, so it was great. Okay, anyone over here have comments or questions? No?
It was wonderful to see the kids receive some new basketballs so that they would be encouraged to go down there. And I want to give a shout out to Cuba for being there and his enthusiasm and his leadership has definitely helped in our youth departments. And I think it was fun to see the kids getting their basketballs, and I'm sure it'll be well used. I'm excited to see that it turned out so beautiful. Another project well done, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that long ago that was a new park, and then we have now had to replace equipment to the latest standards of safety and so forth. But I like how the design was done and not overdone. We didn't overbuild a park. We built it very practically. The basketball courts are been used. I've seen them used before the renovation, so I'm sure they'll be used even more.
Yep.
A lot of people seem to enjoy it. I went up there the other evening because I saw lights were up in the area. It looked like they had some kind of little league or softball or baseball practices going on and so forth. Do those lights, are they on timers? Do they go off at a particular time? Because I've seen some comments online that sometimes our lights are left on too long. I wanted to make sure people were actually using the facility at that time.
Yes, they are on timer, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the fields are occupied between the hour of 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. for practices.
For practices.
Yes.
So there are people on the field still at 10:30 at night?
Yes, that's what I know.
Okay. Well, again, it was just beautifully done. I know we have an old tennis court up there that needs to be maybe repurposed in the future and so forth, but for right now, it's really well done. And congratulations on the good project coming in on budget, sounded like.
Under, yeah.
Well, there's still $9,000 left, so.
Yeah. Good deal. I'd like to move the item.
Yes, go right ahead. So he moved the item to, the notice of completion, and Dennison second. So Lombardo first and Dennison second.
Councilmembers Abel?
Yes.
Dennison?
Yes.
Lombardo?
Yes.
Schooler?
Yes.
And Mayor Droz?
Yes. Now let's move on to item number 10, Yucca Valley Aquatics Recreation Center Quarterly Project Update.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is the Yucca Valley Aquatic Recreation Center Quarterly Project Update. We try to give the council and the residents of Yucca Valley a quarterly report on what the progress of the project. With us will be our consultant, the project manager from Dallin, and I will have Jen introduce yourself and start with your presentation.
If you were not at the last council meeting, my name is Jen Major, and I'm with Dallin Group, and I'm a project manager, and working in collaboration with the town of Yucca Valley on the Yucca Valley Aquatic and Recreation Center. And together, we have been overseeing the project alongside SafeWork, who is the construction manager, HMC, the architect of record, and RC Construction, who is the general contractor. And it's my pleasure to present the third quarterly update to the town. This update takes us from January to the end of March of this year. The purpose of this update is to provide a project overview and construction progress and developments to the town's future aquatic center. So as you are aware, the facility will provide the community with a recreation pool, water play area, locker facilities, multi-purpose rooms, indoor gymnasium, and an outdoor gathering space. So some of the, we'll stay back.
Take it back.
Previous slide.
I'm sorry, sorry.
So we ended last quarter with the excavation of the site where we saw a lot of moving dirt. The building pads were certified, which gave us the go-ahead to install some of the underground utilities, such as water, stormwater, sewer, electrical, fire safety, telecommunications. And this quarter, we have many key milestones that have been achieved. All of those underground utilities have been installed. Footings were laid out and poured. And we have poured slabs for sections A and C. And you'll hear me refer to the different sections because the building has been split up into 3 different parts. So section 1 is going to be your lobby and gymnasium. Section 2 is the natatorium, which is your indoor pool. And section 3 is the locker room and pool functions. Some of the exciting progress is we have began construction on the first few rows of block walls for sections A and C. Some of the upcoming activities that we'll see, we will be pouring the slab for section B. The block walls will continue to be completed in multiple sections for A and C. And in section A, we'll start to see the erection of the structural steel and the roof trusses for the gymnasium. Additional specialized underground utility work will continue for the plus yard. We can go into the next slide. We have some photos to share with you all. So here we see the excavation of the pool. We're giving the pools to the depth and dimensions here. The next slide. And then here we see, we have some over excavation at the northwest side of the site. So a lot of this actually gets filled back in. For whatever reason, they needed to do a little more over excavating here. The next slide. Next, we have Joshua tree removal. So there were some Joshua trees on site that needed to be removed, and that was all done with the proper permits from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. A biologist was on site during the removal, and all of the Joshua trees that were removed were relocated. Next slide. So here we see the concrete masonry starter walls. These starter walls are the first few courses of block. These are typically installed above a foundation or a footing, and they establish the alignment and layout of the future walls. Next slide. And next we see the section A slab on grade pour. What's neat about this picture is adjacent to that, we actually see the preparation for the adjacent slab. So we see the rebar reinforcement and then the vapor barrier, and that creates the physical barrier between the ground and the slab. Next slide. And lastly, we see the section B slab on grade pour. This picture is interesting and fun because we see all of the concrete trucks, and then we also see the boom trucks on site pouring that slab. So here we have a couple of time lapses. So if we go, back. Okay, yep. And the first thing is northwest second site. And this will take us from the very start of construction to a little beyond the third quarter that we're reporting right now.
Very nice.
It might be a little different. And here we'll see that same time lapse looking at the northeast corner. See a lot of moving dirt. And then we see the rebars for the footings, and then the skirting rolls and the slabs. And lastly, we have some project stats on contracts and schedules and the overall construction progress. The big takeaways are that at the end of the third quarter, we are 39% and have only 444 calendar days remaining for project completion. So we have a lot more work to do, but we are making really good progress. And that's all I have today.
That concludes staff report. We'll be happy to answer any question following public comment.
All right, thank you. So is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this item number 10? Someone in the back? No? And anyone online? No? Okay, let's bring it back to the council. Want to go first or go at all?
Oh, I'll go at all. Just really exciting to see it get vertical. I see the walls out there, I know years and years of planning and construction documents and getting ready to this point, putting the team together. I feel confident that we've got a good team in place. Love to see the progress. Wish it would move faster, but I know we got to do it right. So it's really exciting. I look through the fence at least once or twice a week and check on the progress, and it's really exciting to see us move along.
Right, Councilmember Dennison.
I just want to thank the community for helping us get through this. All these projects that we've been talking about, Eric Menendez talked about the Old Town parking area. We're working on the ARC, the pool and the gymnasium there at the natatorium. And also today you saw a revamp and update of Macris Park for safety and recreation. Those started many years ago, and they're just now coming around. So things take a while to make them go off, especially the project that you're looking at now that's so huge. And it's taken quite a few turns to get here. We ran through this as thinking we were going to get close to movement. And then, of course, when we had a lot of the societal shutdown due to the COVID incident, that really put us off track. But we got right back into it, and we were able to work with our partners, and here we are today. It's going to be a real thing here pretty quick. So thanks to staff and everyone presenting today on the item.
Right, anyone over here? Councilmember Lombardo.
It is so neat to see it happening, and it has been planned for a long time. Our staff is amazing. So many projects in the air at the same time. This is a huge project for Yucca Valley. I think it's one of the bigger projects we've ever done, and it's going to be fantastic. I am so excited to see it. We really pushed hard to make it something iconic that will last and be of value to Yucca Valley for many years into the future, and it's so rewarding to see it happening. Thank you. Thanks to the staff, too. Thanks for all the organizational skills.
Yeah, so one thing with the council, we deal with a whole lot of financial obligations and bringing forth services to the community. Roads and the facilities type things that we have to maintain, the monies we spend on roads and on public safety. It takes up a huge part of the budget, but then also it's great that we can also deliver things that are important to our community, which are quality of life projects. So seeing that park, I remember we were behind in parks for years, and we were behind in developing roads and those types of things, and we're slowly but surely catching up on all those items and be able to offer top quality of life. It's one thing to live here. It's another thing to stay here and to enjoy this place with the families. I mean, the downtown plaza, the parking area where we can have like a farmer's market, gathering places, the events that we have at our Welcome Center, the art tours, all those things are part of why we like living here in Yucca Valley and this area. And so to develop a state-of-the-art indoor facility with a gym as well as an aquatic center is going to give people a real reason to stay here, to enjoy our community. We have beautiful skies, clear skies. We have wonderful environment. And then we also have, our local golf course, things like that, where people can actually get out and meet their neighbors at the dog park, like up at Essex and so forth. So thank you for this quarterly update. Exciting, and it was nice to have a tour, and it sure has changed since our tour in the last couple of weeks.
All right, I just want to say it's very exciting to see this. That's something as a council member you really look forward to, like seeing a big project like this take shape and come to completion. So it's very exciting. This is a receive and file, so I guess we'll receive and file it. And we have item number 11, Communication Services Update, Tripepi Smith.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This next item for you is a communication service update, kind of giving you a little bit of a snapshot and overview of the communications that have been presented this past year or so. So since October 2021, Tripepi Smith team has acted as an extension to staff in developing different communication pieces, whether it's social media, printed copy, and crisis communication, just website updates, things that help provide a continuing service along with current staff. So with us this evening is Cameron Grimm, who's a principal for Tripepi Smith, and Cameron is going to give us an overview of what we've been doing.
Thank you, Leslie. Good evening, Mayor and Council members, and thank you for the opportunity to present an overview of Tripepi Smith's work with the town over this past year. I'm Cameron Grimm. I'm a principal at Tripepi Smith, and I'm proud to share how our communications and marketing efforts have supported the town's goals. So our Yucca Valley Tripepi Smith team consists of myself, and I also have joining us via Zoom project manager Madeline Wilson. I was going to ask if she could introduce herself quickly.
Yeah, I'm Madeline Wilson. I'm a business analyst at Tripepi Smith, and I've been working with the town for a year and a half or so. So I'm happy to be working with you all.
Yes, and Madeline is here in case we need to quickly look up data or stats. So thank you, Madeline. So in 2024, we reached more residents, we sparked more conversations, and we helped more people understand how their town works. Today, I'm excited to share how we did that. So I'll walk you through the highlights of what we've accomplished, what we've learned, and how we're evolving for even greater impact in 2025. So one of the most important aspects of our work is ensuring that communication is a two-way street. So we're not just informing the public, but we're engaging with them in meaningful ways. So this section will highlight how we brought town initiatives directly to residents, online, in person, and everywhere in between. So we know that council decisions shape the future of the town, and our outreach helps ensure that those decisions are supported by strong public awareness and input. So whether it's a major capital improvement project, public safety messaging, or community events, we work to meet people where they are in ways that resonate. So measures Y and Z were important to continuing the services and infrastructure improvements the community depends on, and ensuring residents understood what was at stake was a key priority. So in collaboration with town staff, our team developed a comprehensive, accessible resident report that was mailed to every household. It was designed to clearly show how funding from these measures has already made a difference in people's daily lives. Our outreach also included press releases and a continuously updated, easy-to-navigate webpage where residents could find additional information. So our role was to communicate the facts clearly, consistently, and of course without advocacy, so that every resident could make an informed decision. And of course, the result was that both measures passed in the general election, a strong sign that the public felt informed, engaged, and confident in the town's stewardship of these funds. So importantly, the town deserves the credit. Our job was just to communicate how responsibly and effectively those funds were already being used. So in many ways, it was a storytelling effort, bringing to life the real tangible impacts of policy decisions that the town had already made. So we're proud of our role, our communications played in fostering transparency and trust. So in 2024, there was a growing energy around public art, and we had the opportunity to support the town staff in making that momentum visible and actionable. We built a multi-channel communications effort. We shared updates through the town's website, press releases, and social media posts, all designed to inform, inspire, and invite participation. We also created a user-friendly public art webpage that served as a central hub for program details, opportunities, and updates. 2 of our social media posts, which you see in the slide, became the top performing posts of 2024, and they generated over 40,000 impressions, which is a strong indicator, of course, of public interest and reach. The result was a healthy number of applications and diverse options for bringing new public art to the town. And we're proud to have helped elevate this initiative, one that not only beautifies spaces, but strengthens community identity. So this is a great example of how communications can help build culture and create a shared community experience. One of our goals this year was to create accessible direct communication channels between residents and town leadership. So we did this through bi-weekly posts like the hashtag on the agenda posts and coffee with the mayor. We encouraged residents to engage with local leaders, ask questions, and stay informed on key issues. To amplify these efforts, we used organic and boosted social media posts to encourage broader participation in community conversations. So these posts spark dialogue around important topics from budget priorities to capital projects. By boosting posts, we reached more residents where they are, ensuring that town conversations weren't limited to just a select few. Last year, we distributed 24 press releases on topics related to engagement, so that covers a wide range of topics, from budget updates, town events, capital improvement projects, and public safety initiatives. And these efforts ensured the public was consistently informed about the latest developments. We also pushed participation in community workshops and surveys, including sessions on the municipal election, Keep Yucca Valley Safe and Clean survey, public art comment periods, and the sports complex master plan. So our goal here was not only to inform, but to create these opportunities for residents to share their perspectives, ensuring that important projects reflect the voices of the people they serve. So I'll take a closer look at our scope of work, the variety of projects, initiatives, and campaigns we've supported to ensure that the town's communications are consistent, transparent, effective, and engaging. So we work across multiple channels and platforms to ensure that our messages reach and resonate with the community. So these key areas are digital newsletters, press releases, website updates, graphic design, and written content support. Together, these efforts form a kind of holistic communication strategy that helps the town connect with its residents in meaningful ways. So first up is our newsletter, one of our most consistent communication tools. The Community Update e-newsletter is designed to keep residents informed about town priorities, projects, and events. So over the course of the year, we drafted, formatted, and distributed 6 digital newsletters, each curated to highlight timely and relevant content for residents. The average open rate across all of these issues was 45%, which is higher than the industry standard for public sector email communications. And our best performing newsletter came out in October with a 51% open rate, which is a strong indicator that the content resonated and that residents are paying attention, and likely due to our many holiday programming that we talk about in that issue. These results show that residents are actively choosing to engage with town updates and that the newsletter is a trusted go-to source of information. So in a time when inboxes are very crowded, 51% open rate tells us that we're doing it right and that we're delivering information that matters in a format that people actually want to read. And last year, we sent a total of 166 press release emails, so that averages about 14 per month, and that's to ensure that residents, media outlets, and stakeholders stay informed about town initiatives, events, and updates. So these are sent to more than 6,200 contacts we have in our email database. And our best performing press release was the Old Town Beautification Groundbreaking, which saw a 56% open rate, a strong sign of interest and relevance. And press releases remain a key tool in our communications toolkit, helping build consistent awareness, generate media coverage, and create a public record of the town's progress. We also do written content support. So we focused on ensuring the town's website content updates. We focused on ensuring that the town's website remains accurate and responsive to community priorities. Some examples, we launched a new solar app webpage to help streamline access to information about solar permitting. We continue to maintain the town's online calendar, making it easy for residents to stay informed about meetings, events, and the many classes the town offers, especially when we had a full year of public input opportunities. As interest in public art grew, we expanded the public art section of the website with updated pages, artist info, program details, and feedback tools, helping to increase participation and transparency. So these updates are part of an ongoing effort to make the website a living resource and not just a bulletin board, but a tool that serves and evolves with the community. In 2024, we provided design assets that help standardize and strengthen the town's visual identity. So that's for both internal and external use. We delivered vector versions of the town's logo, so that ensures that it can be used clearly and professionally across any platform. We also created a certificate template to provide consistent look for our public-facing documents. We designed official town letterhead, helping staff create documents that reflect the town's voice and visual brand with clarity and professionalism. So these assets are essential tools to help the town show up as a cohesive, credible, professional, and whether that's communicating internally with residents or other stakeholders. Beyond those kind of foundational graphic design pieces, we also supported with community-facing campaigns and custom graphic design work. So these help promote events, programs, and key town communication tools. We designed a flyer with info about the Aquatics and Recreation Center, helping the town provide details about this exciting new facility and reinforcing the town's investment in quality of life. We created inserts for the activity guide that helped promote the town's communication channels to drive awareness about our newsletters, the website, social media platforms. And we designed ads for 2 events, the Orchid Festival and the Art Tour, reinforcing the town's presence and support in both of those. And as I mentioned before, we also designed the resident mailer for Measures Y and Z, which played a key role in visually organizing and presenting funding impact stories to voters. Here's written content. So we provided written content support across a wide range of topics, helping town staff share accurate, timely, and meaningful updates with the public. On average, we write 2 articles or press releases per month based on staff needs and ensuring that updates are communicated quickly and professionally. So you could see we cover a wide range of topics from election results to capital improvement updates. And if anything in between comes up, we can help with that too. So this type of support ensures that residents stay informed and that the town continues to communicate with clarity and credibility. Okay, social media metrics. So social media continues to be one of the town's most effective tools for timely two-way communication. It's where we share updates, invite participation, and build trust in real time. We track everything we post, so we track impressions, engagement, reach, and we use those insights to continuously refine the town's messaging and timing. So I will take you through a few of our key metrics from last year. So our social media presence grew significantly, expanding our reach and allowing us to connect with more residents on the platforms they use the most. We maintain an active presence on 4 platforms, each serving slightly different audiences and content styles. So this helps the town stay visible and relevant across demographics. We saw strong follower growth, especially on Instagram, which was up 64%, and Nextdoor, which was up 29%. and Facebook remains our most followed platform with over 7,600 followers and a 14% increase from last year. X saw more modest growth, but still serves as a quick broadcast-style platform for certain kinds of updates. And this follower growth in turn means more eyes on updates, more participation in programs, and more opportunities for residents to engage. So this is a snapshot from our monthly dashboard reports. These provide a look at how all the communication platforms are performing. So that helps us understand what's working and where we can improve. We track key metrics for all of our communication platforms, from social media to email open rates and engagement. So this gives us a complete picture of how the town's messages are being received. The data we gather informs our strategic adjustments across all channels. So whether it's kind of tweaking a social media methodology, refining email subject lines, or choosing what content to highlight, these reports are really our foundation for guiding our next steps. This is another snapshot from the report just to show some other metrics and data we collect. So these help us stay transparent with town leadership and staff, ensuring that everyone is aligned on how our performance is going, our goals, and our areas for growth. So these are our top posts from Facebook in 2024. They were all centered around art, and with strategic boosting, we expanded their reach. Art-related content really connected with residents, from events to calls for participation, and this kind of programming generated strong interest. So our top 3 posts were the Orchid Festival, the Call for Public Art, and the Film Festival. All 3 of these were boosted, so that helped them reach even wider targeted audiences and increasing awareness of town programs and partnerships. So our most successful Instagram posts in 2024 highlight the value of both boosted and organic content, so with high-performing visuals that reflect what matters to residents. Our Call for Artists post was boosted and reached nearly 5,000 impressions, showing again how creative programming resonates across platforms. And interestingly enough, our traffic advisory post, which was not boosted, just an organic post, still brought in over 2,500 impressions, reinforcing the importance of timely, helpful posts even without paid promotion. And our entrance signage post reached nearly 3,900 people, tapping into the sense of civic pride and belonging and underscoring the value of visual storytelling. So whether it's promoting a town initiative or sharing helpful info, visual content continues to drive engagement on Instagram. And on X and Nextdoor, timely and informative posts continued to perform well, reinforcing these platforms as kind of key tools for policy updates and resident alerts. Our most viewed post on X this past year was about organics recycling, reaching nearly 9,000 views organically. And these kind of posts help us share updates quickly and efficiently with residents who prefer this format. On Nextdoor, again, an organics recycling post reached over 2,400 impressions, and a traffic advisory post, 2,100 impressions, further reinforcing that this platform is ideal for local updates that residents can act on. So these insights help shape our strategy. We know that on platforms like X and Nextdoor, clarity and timeliness are key, and we prioritize quick-to-read, actionable posts. And then in addition to kind of our regular scope of work, we did have a couple special projects we worked on last year. Those include videos on the Aquatics and Recreation Center groundbreaking, which received 2,800 post views and over 11,000 video plays. And that was thanks to a targeted boosted campaign. So that helped amplify excitement around a major town investment. And our State of the Town video reached 2,700 views, which was not boosted, just an organic post, which is a strong result and reflects both community interest and the relevance of the content. So going forward, video will continue to be a powerful part of the town's communication strategy, helping us celebrate, educate, and build connection in a way that static content can't always do. So I wanted to wrap up just with something simple but meaningful, a quick look at how residents responded to some of the content we shared throughout the year. These are screenshots from comments on the town's social media showing support, excitement, curiosity, and gratitude for the work that's happening around them. The impact is genuine, and so is the momentum, and we're excited to continue supporting the town's communication efforts in the year ahead. So we've already started supporting communications for several important community priorities. We're assisting with messaging and outreach around mobile home park zoning, making sure residents understand updates and feel informed. We're helping build awareness and transparency around efforts for the town's animal shelter, including a new webpage on the operational review, and promoting public input opportunities and sharing updates. Emergency communication remains a top priority. We're preparing materials and strategy to ensure that residents know what to do and where to go when the unexpected happens. And with the evolving landscape around Western Joshua Tree conservation and development guidelines, we're keeping the public informed as state and local regulations shift. So each of these topics is, of course, complicated, sensitive, or high priority, and we're here to help make sure the town's communication is clear, timely, and effective every step of the way. So thank you again for your partnership. The town has a great story to tell, and we're proud to help tell it. We look forward to another year of connection, clarity, and impact. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, if I could just add a couple of comments. Cameron, thank you so much.
Sure.
Madeline, thank you for joining and providing some of those comments. As Cameron indicated, Trepepi Smith, we refer to them as TS, really is an extension of staff. And it would be very difficult for us to provide that level of content creation, graphic design, media management internally without a significant expenditure and increase in labor. One of the other things that we've discussed as a team that, and Cameron highlighted a couple of them, but the town has historically had a number of what we call legacy websites that are outside of the realm of the town's primary website. And so one of our goals in the upcoming months and year is to look at those websites, bring them into some conformity, see where integration makes sense, if a standalone system makes sense, that we're deliberate and intentional about that. So some of those systems may be including the High Desert Nature Museum, our Yucca Valley Animal Shelter, Care and Control, some of our contract services. So those are areas that we're looking at, continuing to better integrate into our entire management system for media communications. Cameron, Madeline, thank you so much for coming today. We do appreciate the information. Mayor and Council will be happy to answer questions after public comment.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to ask a question or comment on this item, number 11? And is there anyone online? No? Let's bring it back to the council. So anyone over here?
Sure. Thank you very much for your report and presentation. Communication is very important, and it's rewarding to see that the money that's being spent is being used well, and very professional presentations. It looks like we're getting good response, and that this is the way to communicate back and forth, not just one way. We really appreciate your efforts in this and keeping us moving forward. It's a lot of work, and you're doing a very good job of it, and we're very appreciative. And I think you're shedding a great light on Yucca Valley, and it looks professional, and it just adds to the image that we need to portray. We have a great product here, and thank you for helping to get the word out.
It's quite impressive, the wide variety of support that you give, from newsletters to, our letterhead to everything, and it's very, very well crafted, I agree. One of the things I've always asked is if we're spending money on social media or things like that, what are we getting in return? What's the data? What's the return on investment? And so I think you very much proved your worth, your company's worth to public agencies like ours. One of the driving things that the council has been wanting is more and more information out to the public, to get information out so we don't have misinformation going around or misconceptions. And I think these are great. I noticed the newsletters. I always sort of look at those. I don't read every one of them, but the ones that catch my eye, they're always very engaging and they're pithy. You know, if it's too long, you're not going to have me or somebody like me going to read through it. But it really gets to the point. It's an easy read, and I think that's why you're getting so many above the average clicks, because people are finding it's not a big, I'm not going to dedicate an hour to reading this. I'm going to have a really great overview within a short period of time, and it's worth me reading. So if we were sending out stuff that's repetitive or wasn't worth reading, then you wouldn't get clicks after a while, you know? And so I do appreciate just the thoughtfulness behind each and everything that you've provided. You aren't involved in any of our analysis of our web pages and our clicks and those types of things. That's not part of your process?
We have the ability, and correct me if I'm wrong, Madeline, to track the Google Analytics that are on the main website that we include in the dashboard report.
For the town's website?
Oh,
Did Madeline hear?
Madeline, you're muted.
Sorry, struggling to unmute. That is correct. We do monitor the Google Analytics for the website.
So tell me what the Google Analytics would mean to me.
They can show you the top pages. What other info is included? So it looks at the last month, the top pages that were clicked. Anything else, Madeline?
Let me pull up our key topics really quick.
And
The engagement time and the total users, the total views, and then share the top pages. And so we do that each month in that dashboard report that we send to the staff.
Do you analyze in your data how many clicks it takes me as a consumer or as a resident to get to where I'm wanting to go? And do I get off track on different pages? Does it give us that kind of feedback?
I'm not sure if we can get that granular with it.
Okay.
We can, in general, just how many clicks are on each page, but I don't think we can track
The
for
move.
everybody.
Okay, the movement. You see how much time they spend there, but you don't necessarily know how they navigate the web page. I'm sure that's other analysis that can be done at another time, or maybe with another company. But again, very great, good quality, and I again agree with my colleague that it's very professional looking and it's an easy read.
Thank you. And we do sometimes for some of our other clients, we've done what we call a website audit, where we do kind of what you're explaining, where we kind of look at, oh, we could consolidate this, or we could, move things around. Right now, our scope of work is just for website updates. 5 hours a month we work on the website. So the audit would be kind of a separate endeavor, but a worthwhile one. Mm-hmm.
All right, council members, Schooler, do you want to?
Sure. I'm glad we had this review because the depth of the range of activities and programs and projects that you cover for us is impressive, and sometimes we lose sight of that. I really like how Tripepia Smith has become part of the community, or at least understands the community. I know that doesn't happen right away, but it feels like you're part of the team. And I appreciate that. You said you have several other clients. That's almost hard to believe because you do a really good job for us. So we appreciate that. And I've always found you to be very professional, responsive, and just an excellent resource for the town. So thanks for the report.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Councilmember Dennison.
Yes, Cameron, Madeline, thank you for being here. A couple of years ago, I actually reached out to use the services of Tripepi, and what happened was we had a misunderstanding at one of the projects we were working on, and that was at our dog park there. And so what was important about it is that You were able to grasp the subject quickly. You were able to look at it, analyze it, and then disseminate some of the facts of what was going on over there. It allowed us to work with the community to find resolve quickly. And the outcome was very good because it was kind of getting off track a little bit on some of the misunderstanding in the community of how the process works. So just to say that truly, I got to use the product, as a request, and it was disseminated quickly. And I liked that it was targeted to those that were of concern of that item, and that it also took in the fact that there was brevity involved. It really kind of rolled it up into a quick, easy-to-read item, and that they could reach out for more information if needed. And then we got so much traction out of that we started having great participation actually at the park to help us navigate this misunderstanding that we had. And today, I think the park is very well enjoyed because of some of that quick response we had and caring to the needs of the community. So thank you. You guys were directly a true partner on that one, and we'll look forward to more of those actions.
Thank you so much.
And I just want to say thank you for the great information. I'm surprised next door is so high on the list. That kind of surprises me. But anyway, thank you for the great information, Cameron and Madeline, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this is a receive and file. So we're going to go on to item number 12, small collection facilities.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The recommendation for this item is that the Town Council reviews and provides direction as necessary on potential policy changes to Chapter 9.14, Section 9.14.070, recycling facilities of the Town of Yucca Valley Development Code. The alternative recommendations, alternative 1, finding that the current code achieves the town's objectives and that a development code amendment should not be initiated based on town council direction. Alternative 2, finding that a development code amendment is warranted to provide a level of flexibility in location, facility siting based on town council direction. In short, at the Planning Commission meeting of September 24th, 2024, the Planning Commission denied a special use permit for a small collection facility proposed in community commercial zoning district, which was also in the corridor residential overlay based on the adopted standards within Section 9.14 of the town's development code. As part of that motion on the project, the Planning Commission included a motion to request the Town Council direction on the current policy and if any changes were recommended. In short, small collection facilities are permitted in the zoning districts you see up there, which are virtually all commercial zoning districts, as well as industrial zoning districts with a special use permit. Below are some standards. C is kind of the crucial one that we're going to be talking about. The facilities shall not be located within 100 feet of any parcels zoned or occupied for residential use. And then there's some other various regulations I'll kind of skip through. The important one is C for this discussion. So as state and local regulations make it easier to develop residential housing, the zoning districts that are exclusively commercial or industrial shrink. So in the town, we have our corridor residential overlay, which is in fairly large sections of Highway 62 corridor. The purple at the north end of town is our rural mixed use. So mixed use, it allows residential housing even though it's industrial. Old Town allows residential development in every zoning district in Old Town. So what you see on the left is all of the commercial and industrial zoning districts. And what you see on the right are zoning districts that do not allow residential development. So the right-hand side shows you where these small recycling facilities can be located. As you'll see in the blue, that's quasi or public, quasi-public, which those lines are flood control channels, et cetera. So high schools, this property that we're at right now, et cetera, is public, quasi-public. So it's significantly reduced when you consider that residences can be built in a lot of these commercial districts. So I'll kind of go through a couple pros, couple cons. As discussed at the Planning Commission meeting, these small collection facilities can tend to generate unwanted garbage outside the facilities, as either they're not open or they can't accept certain items, large bulky items, et cetera. They're usually sited pretty close to the highway, so it's clearly visible from people driving along the highway. The advantages of having it there is they're accessible to lower and extremely lower income people who would be using the facility to recycle items. And then obviously the ability to have these facilities would hypothetically reduce recyclables that are discarded. There is one small collection facility that's currently in the town, that's Venture Recycling at Yucca Trail in Hopi. Cal Recycle did call us to notify us that if we approve more collection facilities, that this recycling facility will lose some funding from the state. Because they're the only recycling facility in town, they get a small grant from the state. Again, the recommendation is that the town council reviews and provides directions on the policy changes. And the alternatives is that the town council finds that the development code is adequate and no changes are necessary. And then the second alternative is that development code amendment is warranted. We can answer questions following public comment.
Okay, thank you, Jared. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment or have a question on this item? Or anyone online? All right, let's take it back to the council. Who would like to speak first? Anybody? Okay, Councilmember Dennison.
Thank you, Mayor. So over the years, I think the recycling center on Hopi and Yucca Trail has been pretty consistent. They account for a wide range of recyclable materials in all forms, and it's worked very well, and they run a nice operation. The other thing is that many times these smaller sites, they've come and gone. They've been throughout the entire town in the past, and it is true what was brought up by the Planning Commission, that there are times when there are contributions after hours, and many times they're of not value. So I hate to see that. I'm still a firm believer in anytime you are charged a fee for an item that you buy, whether it's a TV, a television, tires, soda cans, all that kind of stuff. I believe that the person that is selling those products should in some way be able to take those back. And that's always been my belief. If you're going to sell the product, you're going to profit from the product, that you should be part of the solution to receive them back and help with the recycling process. We also have other ways that we can recycle our more hazardous things right here in Joshua Tree. But for these types of centers, currently, I'm very satisfied with the single-use facility that we have as identified by Jared. And I would hate to see them lose the funding because they have been the most consistent one that we've had in the area that stayed here.
Thank you. Councilmember Schooler.
Well, I thank the Planning Commission for wrestling with this and sending it our way. I think the issue might be the 100-foot rule. Is that what we're talking about here tonight? Is that the biggest issue?
Yes, so the facilities can't be within 100 feet of residential zone property or within it. And because so much of the commercial property allows residential construction, it reduces where you can site the facility.
Okay, and I understand we have an applicant that wants to put in a facility somewhere. Where would that be?
Two applicants. One was interested in the parking lot next to the former Pizza Hut, we'll say, near Quick Quack. And then the other one was behind the Aldi grocery store.
But that's within 100 feet, or
It is within a zoning district that allows residential construction.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to see the other guys lose their funding, and I don't really have any idea what amount of funding that is. But I think I'd like to encourage the entrepreneurial spirit too, and if this could be monitored where people, I don't know, would be held responsible for any other items, mattresses and so forth that are left off at their site, so that it wouldn't impact visually and draw a crowd that we might not want to be there. I don't think I'd have a real problem with it being amended. And I think it said in the staff report that the director has the ability to modify that requirement, the 100 feet. Is that?
The director may modify but not remove the requirement.
Okay, all right. Okay, I don't think I have anything else right now.
All right, anybody over here?
Yeah, I've been on the council here month after month, just really trying to drive home the point of making our corridor as aesthetically pleasing as possible. We're still fighting an uphill battle with graffiti, weeds, people with encampments and things like that. I just will not see necessary to change our policy at this point, because I have seen what they've looked like in the past. And we're going backwards in trying to keep the downtown and the corridor looking nice for our residents. So I would be opposed to making any changes, and I'm glad that the Planning Commission had taken a look at this and really studied it. Whether we're protecting one applicant or whatever, I don't believe that's the case. I think we don't necessarily want to go back and making the downtown area look, or the corridor look junky. We're spending lots of money and time and effort to clean it up, and we're trying to put pressure on the major corporations, Home Depots and the Walmarts and the dollar store and all those to clean up their facilities. And some of our businesses, our small businesses, some of the smallest businesses have the nicest looking landscaping and cleanliness. I think at Dr. Patterson's building, it's just pristine. And then you go down to Dollar General, and they've got a weed whacker and they've got weeds out there, and it's a corporate store. So I don't want to change any of the collection facility requirements. I don't think an amendment is needed.
Councilmember Lombardo?
I agree with Councilman Abel in that I've been here a long time, and I have seen the facilities we've had in the past, and they were a little bit of an eyesore, I'd say. And I'm not sure that allowing them in the corridor area, I'm a little confused, even though the areas are not developed, because the lot within 100 feet could be residential, it's not permitted. And I think that might be a good thing. I'm usually very much in favor of entrepreneurship and the ability for people to come, and if they think they have an idea for a business, to let them try that and to make the town's bureaucracy work with them to make it happen. But as long as we have a recycle facility that's operating, it's been there for a very long time, and it's in a industrial area. It's not an eyesore. It's well contained behind a fence that obscures things, and I don't see that kind of screening would be available to places like in the parking lot at, where the collection site was suggested. And I think it would be unsightly, and I do think it opens the door to people dropping things off. We still have that problem in town. There's that problem, somebody just dumped a jacuzzi, an old jacuzzi on the side of the road, just off of Sage, those kind of things just really bother me. So I think the better we can keep our main corridors looking, the better off we are. And I think we have a usable facility that's working and meeting that need. I'm a little bit conflicted in that it would be more convenient, I know, for people to return things like cans and bottles with CRV value near the store where they purchased those things. So at this time, I'd say no change is necessary, but I would be open to a proposal in the future or a modification that would allow something that is aesthetically pleasing or screened in a way that could be kept clean. Maybe the use of security cameras to prevent something like illegal dumping and that sort of thing. But I just don't see how that's too practical right now. So I would tend to agree with Councilman Abel and say that no change is necessary.
Right, thank you. I agree with keeping it off of the corridor. I like it in an industrial area. But I also worry, like, what if the one that we have in the industrial area, what if they go out of business? Then we have nothing. So I'm okay with keeping it the way it is right now, but maybe look at it in the future and see if we might want to change it, because when you're relying on only one vendor, I mean, that's kind of scary if they go out of business or something.
Do we need a motion on this item, or is it just direction, consensus?
Direction.
So just a general consensus then? Okay. So I'd say keep it as is for now.
I say that too.
I agree for now.
I would support that.
What's that?
I'll support it. Keep it as it is.
Okay. All right, so I think we have consensus. Do you need anything else from us? No?
No, sir, we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jared. Now we're on to item number 13. Project funding agreement. It's got a number with it, SBCTA, for the construction of the widening of Yucca Trail.
Big project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is a project funding agreement number 25-1003, 282 with San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, better known as SPCTA, for the construction. It's actually for the designing and construction of the widening of Yucca Trail. The recommendation before you tonight that the Town Council approves the project funding agreement number 25-1003-282 with SPCTA for the widening of Yucca Trail between Palomar Avenue and La Contenda. And just to give an overview of the project is the Measure I to a 2010-2040 expenditure plan and the Morango Basin Sub-Area Transportation Planning partners have identified projects eligible for funding from Measure I 210-240 Morango Basin Sub-Area Major Local Highway Projects Program funds. The Yucca Trail widening project, along with the widening of State Route 62, were projects that is identified to be eligible for such funding. So the Yucca Trail widening project consists of roadway widening of Yucca Trail from Palomar Avenue to La Contenda Road, including the addition of Center Stroud median, following two-way, left turn movement into Avalon, Camarilla, Del Monte, Hermosa, and Indio Avenue. The project will also include construction of curb gutter and street lighting, signage and striping, and concrete head walls for water crossing along Yucca Trail. The design and construction of the project is estimated to begin in spring of 2027, completed by the winter of 2027. The town estimates a total project cost of $5 million for the project in Measure I 2010-2040 Morongo Basin Sub-Area Major Local Highway Projects Program funds and local Measure I funds. To complete the plans and the specification right-of-way and construction phase of the project, SBCTA Measure Fund contributes $4,848,000 for the project, and the town contributes $152,000 through the town Measure I funds. That concludes staff report. Be happy to answer any question that they might have.
Thank you, Alex. Is there anybody in the public that would like to comment on this item about Yucca Trail widening? Anyone online? No? Let's take it back to the council. Anyone have a question or comment?
Yeah, you don't have a graphic for that, huh? It's such a big, beautiful project. It'd be nice to see that. But my question is, does the county have any plans on improving the road as it passes La Quintana and moves on towards Park Avenue? The reason I'm asking is that people out cycling, out doing outside activities and so forth, there's no shoulder. Car goes off the edge, it's hitting sand. As we know, that could cause a rollover or overcorrection. So having shoulders in place, having curb and gutter and all that is important. But I was always hoping that the county and the town could stripe, because it's also heading towards the school and so forth, but have it marked with bike lanes as well. Because we do have a lot of cyclists that come up to our area, or residents that ride, and we really haven't designated any real good bike lanes on the roads that we've improved thus far.
I'm not aware of any work that is the county doing in their side. The only thing that we are aware of is that we are in discussion with the county for the intersection of La Contenda and Yucca Trail to improve that intersection by exploring the idea of installing what we call roundabout.
Right.
To make it easier for traffic to move around in that area. But beyond that, I'm not aware that the county have anything, but we'll bring it to their attention and see what is the plan.
I'm sorry. In addition to what Alex has said, in these conversations between Alex and the engineering staff and County Department of Public Works has really been the first conversation between the county and town staff on the design of Yucca Trail. So it's been the real first opportunity for the two staffs to work together. We're talking about 4-lane configuration. They're talking about 2-lane configuration on their side. So of the La Quintana intersection. So this gives them the ability to have their communications back with the supervisors as we're working on this project together, and that will occur through this ongoing dialogue about the roundabout at the intersection of Yucca Trail and La Quintana. So those conversations have opened the door for those types of possibilities to occur in the future. At this point in time, they have not indicated there's any project on their list whatsoever, but we'll make sure that we continue in that dialogue, and the next time we have our meeting with County Public Works staff, we'll bring that topic up and see what their long-term plans are.
And thank you very much. And the dialogue also needs to take place with the school district, because if you're dealing with a roundabout, we have buses that have to navigate that area as well. And right now, it's a thoroughfare. We only have one stop sign, so people they don't have to stop. They just go straight through. They're coming up La Quintana, they have to stop. So as we know, T-bone collisions can be the most deadly of all types of accidents, and a roundabout does help deflect an accident into a different situation. But I'm concerned about the bus travel and the bus navigation on that particular intersection. Then also, although we might design it for a 4-lane or 2 lanes in each direction, I would like to throw out a proposal. And like I said, I don't know how far down the road, but I don't like to have it's already approved and then all of a sudden we come up with another idea. But I would like to propose perhaps keeping it as wide enough for 2 lanes in both directions, but striping it initially as a 2-lane with bike paths. And then as we see traffic get more, or if we see there's an increase in traffic where we need those extra lanes and they prove beneficial, then the striping can change and it can be the 2 lanes in each direction. Because I notice on Onaga, we have, big center divider areas where you can, where we keep cars from each other as they're approaching. But if we had gone with more 2 sets of double yellows, we would have room for bike lanes. And bike lanes around the high school and the elementary school and those things would be very important because they're not supposed to ride on the sidewalk. We make great improvements, but again, like I said, I wanted to see possibility of a bike lane component.
So the item that's before the council this evening is the approval of the funding agreement between the town and SBCTA. When we bring forward design processes, we will make sure to include the evaluation of those types of alternatives. So staff will ensure that's in our process in the future.
All right. Councilmember Lombardo.
So right now, we're approving the funding ideas, and this may change in the future. Is that correct? Or the funding will not?
This evening is just the funding agreement, so it's approving SBCTA's contribution into the town's project, and that's the only action before the council this evening.
All right. If that total number changes, is that a problem in the future, or?
No,
Right now, that's the number we're gonna
I think
work
as the council is aware, when it comes to capital projects and inflation and how costs increase, the town is always very frugal with its financial resources, including the capital projects, and we look at all funding sources available. So this is the agreement that's before the council this evening and the funding that's being made available by SBCTA.
Well, I think this is a wonderful deal if they're contributing almost $4 million out of a $5 million project, so I'm in favor of it.
All right. Anybody else? Councilmember Dennison.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick, so I'm the representative for our community on SBCTA. I currently serve as the vice chair, and that SBCTA has a representative from all the cities and towns, including the 5 district supervisors. So amongst them, we break off into smaller groups, and one of them is the Desert Mountain Policy Committee meeting, which will be meeting on Friday, and I'm also on that committee. So this has been about a 10-year project. The alignment for projects was formed in, or updated in 2017 on this one. And I think staff was very close to saying that we're looking at, about 10 years, and that's where it generally falls. Alex had mentioned the date of 27. So that's how long it takes for these projects to move forward. I'm very happy for the support of the other cities and towns and also the Board of Supervisors to help us get here. I'm also on the Regional Council for SCAG, which is the Southern California Association of Governments, kind of a much broader group that looks at all of Southern California. One of the things that we're talking about, to the Mayor Pro Tem's comment, is that I continually talk about ATP, or active transportation projects, to them, and that does include things like bicycling, walking, and other types of forms of transportation. And one area that's been identified, and we continue to try and move the item forward to get it onto the long-term plan to start committing resources to these projects, and that would be Yucca Trail. So I appreciate that. There's other discussions with the county, as staff has mentioned too, so it's not forgotten. You're represented. We go there constantly, and we talk to the other cities and towns, and we try and get our allocation to get these much-needed improvements to our community. So thank you to staff here for working with those organizations and making sure that it can really happen, and we're very close. So Friday, I look forward to my partners and myself moving this item forward at SBCTA also. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilmember Schooler, you have anything?
If there's no further discussion, I would move the approval of the agreement with SBCTA.
That's great.
I'll second.
Councilmembers Abel?
Yes.
Dennison?
Yes.
Lombardo?
Yes.
Schooler?
Yes.
And Mayor Droz?
Yes. Now we're moving on to future agenda items. So is there anyone on the council that wants to have anything in the future discussed? I have one, but...
Yeah, it came up today at the coffee with the mayor about...
Soda with the mayor.
Soda with the mayor. I'm sorry, you
I'm
don't drink
just
coffee.
kidding.
Yeah. A resident had some questions about the lighting at Macris Park and if there was anything that could be done or if it could be evaluated for shielding. And I wondered if we could have a discussion after we get some information on that kind of a thing.
Mayor, if it's okay, I can comment on that. Sure. I think what we'll do at a staff level is look at the current user reservation, identify its consistency with your existing policy. We can provide that in a memo form to the council. And then if you desire to place that on the agenda at that time, we can do so.
Okay, thank you.
And my item I'd like to see on a future agenda is going back to dirt roads and the number counts, because I know we counted the numbers of cars on dirt roads. So arterial dirt road.
Mayor, your ad hoc committee met on dirt roads about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've provided some input, direction to staff. We would anticipate coming back to the council and the public probably early summer. There's a couple of additional items that we would like to have stood up when we come back to the council and the public to share that. So that's our current calendar, would be somewhere in early summer to get that back to the council.
That's perfect. So thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Mayor Droz, I'm sorry. This is a little different. We do have a request to speak on this item for future agenda, if you'd like to consider that.
From the public?
Yes.
And that's allowed by, let's get the...
Sure, just any comments on this item should be limited to requests for future agenda items only.
So basically not a whole 3-minute presentation, just what do you want discussed?
Correct.
Okay, so who wants to speak on that?
So, Mr. Porter?
Thank you.
Press the button, Darren. There you
Ooh,
go.
last
Thank
time it was
you.
automatic. Hi, everybody. James Porter. I am a Yucca Valley resident since 1984. I am specifically asking to speak about future agenda items, and I'm going to detail why. So 2 meetings ago, I asked city staff if they would consider putting the animal shelter onto every future agenda, at least until we received the final report of the operational review. Obviously, that request was declined because it's not on the agenda for tonight. So in the intercession between meetings, I got a copy of the Town Council's Manual of Procedural Guidelines, which is your rule book for how the council operates, and I would like to direct council's attention to Article 6.6B of your rules. That article allows for town council members to place items on future agendas with a 2/3 vote of council. The public, under the Brown Act, does not have the right to directly place an item on the agenda, but you do as our elected officials. So I am coming to you tonight with a request, and I am going to read it directly. I ask any member of the council to be brave here, step up, and make a motion to place the animal shelter operations on every agenda until the final operational review is completed. This is because the public demands transparency in this investigation, and the only way we can get that at this point is through reports coming from the city. We do not need a full report, and I am speaking on behalf of probably a dozen people who I have talked to directly and probably hundreds more I have not talked to who want to know this information. A very brief report from the animal care manager or their designee on the total number of animal intakes during the 2 weeks preceding the meeting, the total number of adoptions, rescues, and euthanizations during the same time period, and any specific efforts taken to improve outcomes for the animals would suffice for this report. So I am asking each council member, all of whom have said they support positive change, to show us that you support positive change by making a motion to place this on future agendas. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there, can we speak on this right now, or is there someone else that wants to speak, or?
I don't have any other requests for this item.
Okay, I'd like to start if I could, if I could respond. Our next council meeting, there will be an update. The meeting after that, there will not, but the meeting after that, we'll have the final review. So I'm really not in favor of that because we're we have 3 meetings, and only 1 meeting will not have any information. So we're almost there, and I just don't think it's necessary. But let's see what the rest of the council thinks.
I also agree. The council gave clear direction to the staff that we wanted an operational review. I don't want it in bits and pieces. I do want to have a report on our findings on May 1st, and then also our first meeting in May, and then also our first meeting in June. And the whole idea is to get some type of collaboration, get some facts on the matter so that we can come back with some really great best practices to make the improvements that we need. And I'm very confident that our shelter staff, as well as our assistant manager and everyone else, is on board and trying to make some great improvements. And I'm looking forward to those reports. So I'm comfortable with the direction the council has given staff. But I appreciate you putting that out there and giving us the opportunity to do that.
Anyone else want to comment, or? So does anybody want to make a motion or not? There's no motion. There's no motion. That's what I'm just double checking. Okay. So let's move on to public comment. The town council takes this time to consider your comments on items of concern which are not on the agenda. When you are called to speak, please state your name and community of residence. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Inappropriate behavior which disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting will result in forfeiture of your public comment privileges. The town council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussion items not on the printed agenda. And before we open this up, I just want to say, I want everybody to please be respectful. Remember, the buck stops with the town council. Addressing any of our employees personally is really not the proper way to do it. You need to address us. The buck stops here. So please make it respectful and address the council if you have any complaints. So anyway, let's open it up for public comment. Does anybody want to comment from the public?
Mayor, we have several requests to speak on this, on public comment.
Okay.
First is Cynthia Nevis, and then be followed by Cheryl Contopoulos.
All right. Cynthia, okay, there we go.
Good evening, Town Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you all. I just wanted to come and discuss. My name is Cynthia Nieves, and I work for Reach Out Yucca Valley. We're a nonprofit organization that work with individuals who are looking for assistance to get off opioid use disorder. Tonight, I'm here to speak on. We have a shower project coming up on April 16th where we will be facilitating it at the weigh station, and we're offering the unhoused or anyone that needs free showers, free laundry facilities. We're supplying all the free laundry detergent, shampoos, conditioners, everything you need for to take care of your personal hygiene. Reach Out also offers Narcan training and distribution. We also have local resources such as a food bank for anyone that finds themselves in need throughout the month for extra food. We also have medicated assistant treatment program. And we also want to invite anyone that is interested in joining our Morongo Basin Community Coalition that meets every second Thursday of the month between 12 and 2. We get together with other nonprofit organizations to see how we can help those who are in need such as the unhoused, such as those that are looking for housing assistance, or anyone that is looking for just help trying to find employment. We also work with, we also have an environmental policy department who also goes into the schools and help the youth to find jobs, write resumes, find employment. So that's what I want to say, and I wanted to invite anybody out that's interested. Please stop by. We're located right there at 7248 Joshua Lane, right behind the library, across from the post office. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And that's the old Bob Dunn building, correct?
Do you have a business card?
No, but I do have flyers that are
Okay.
sitting out here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Cheryl
Next comment.
Contopoulos.
Good evening, Cheryl Contopoulos, Yucca
Thank you,
Valley.
Cheryl.
And she's got my name down because this young woman here and Terry Foster have been very helpful on another project that I'm involved with, and I just want to thank you publicly very much. They've been awesome. Okay, I want to thank them. I also want to thank the city for the immediate use of sedation for euthanasia, for Pet of the Week postings. I'm all about that publicity, support of Wolf Walk, the search for new rescue partners, and hopefully that includes utilizing the existing rescue partners that several have said they hardly ever hear from the shelter. And they're very great rescuers. Also, Pet Finder was updated yesterday with 7 new dogs that included an actual story with them, similar to what's on their Facebook page, the Home at Last Adoptions. That was awesome. They were still there this morning. This afternoon, 5 dogs disappeared. I don't know why, but I do know. Rakesh, John Julius, Bubba, and Micah have disappeared. Were they adopted? I don't know, but they've only been posted since March, so they haven't been there for a long time. So just please keep that in mind when you're tracking things. They all looked adoptable to me. I am thankful for that, and for you guys actually listening and doing something. But I know as a previous manager of a lot of people, you do have to have the rubber meet the road. So that's just as important as these little important steps. Communication, this is what I'm looking forward to. I really enjoyed that earlier presentation because it sounds like the project website will be moving, and that communication outreach is so important to the community. The continued progress towards the issues that were identified on the list that the city actually put together. Good job. There's still some other things. An analysis of some other shelters, how did they do better when they have the same issues that we have? They have the same, whether it be COVID or whether it be finances, they have the same problems. The front end issues are a problem. We all know. Dogs get dumped. We have people who have oops litters, which aren't really oopses. So that does need to be addressed. And you can do that with school outreach, which I know is on the shelter manager's job description. I would like you also to consider an advisory group that uses 2 council members similar to your ad hoc committees. How long that lasts, I don't know, but I think it needs to be more frequently. And I gave Leslie a copy of my idea of the type of people involved. The veterinary professional assistant, somebody who knows how to write grants, your 501c3s, your employee volunteers, social workers. We have some problems, and we know people have dogs and can't take care of them. Current or previous work, shelter manager from another shelter, and you've had plenty of volunteers for that, and fosters. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Did I already say I put this on the back table for people who can't use the computer or who won't step up? Thank you.
Thanks. Who's next?
Next is Cindy Joyce, and then we'll have Susan Walls.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Again, my name is Cindy Joyce. I'm from Pioneer Town. I'm also neighbors with the old Yucca Valley Animal Shelter Manager, Melanie Kreider. I am one of the last employees of Hydes Kennels that was there before the town purchased for the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. Back in the day, as people would remember, the community was really involved. We started out, we were Hydes Kennels. I worked with Kay Baker. She taught me very well. I worked for her for 8 years before she passed away. She involved the community. Back in the day when Chrysler was here in their automotive, they would come down and pick up puppies and advertise them on TV. We ran 3 entities out of that shelter. We were first and foremost Hydes Kennels. We were the High Desert Humane Center, which we did our adoptions, and we also took in the county and the town dogs. You guys worked for us. We didn't work for you. If we can get the county more involved and get the community, there's organizations, there's people out here, there's stores out here that will pay for the adoptions. If somebody's going to come in and give you money for a certain dog that's going to help pay for that spay and neuter, they don't need to be told, well, you can make a donation. We can't guarantee it's going to go for that pet. I think all the animals deserve a break. What we need to learn and bring back is compassion, love, and most importantly, the pride of our job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Walls, and then James Porter, you're on deck.
That's going to be hard to follow.
Your turn, Susan.
My name's Susan, and I'm from Joshua Tree. I'm here, of course, about the situation with the animal shelter. It seems that this topic has hit a nerve with the Morongo Basin citizens. Information coming from the shelter workers, controversy over the Walmart dog, emotions have really been stirred up. I believe with enough people showing up, enough people speaking up, that there will be a change for the better. I believe that we can take some of the burden off of our overworked shelter workers with volunteers. So many willing people available. Our shelter needs someone willing to change for the better. I believe that there can be a change for the better in the way records are kept and having a way to let the public know what animals are in the shelter. Owners want to know if their furry friends are safe in the shelter and not coyote bait. Perhaps a daily list of animals that were picked up, a picture posted on the website, at the very least, a description, so that the owners can be reunited with their pets sooner. I mean, how hard is that nowadays? Everybody has a phone that they can download and send a picture or whatever. And by the way, that can be done by volunteers. I believe that there can be a change for the better in reaching out to as many rescue organizations as we can, not limiting it to a few. A single mass email, not too time consuming, that would alert all the rescues. And again, a volunteer could do that. Our shelter needs a person in charge that is caring and compassionate to our animal friends. We need someone willing to change, someone to involve our community, and someone willing to go the extra mile to make sure our animals are adopted or safe out of the shelter. And we need to fast-track these changes because it is a matter of life and death. I understand it is not the town council, but it's the assistant town manager, Mr. Shane Stukel, that holds the power to make this change for the better. And the change starts at the top. Please do the right thing. We need to have a new shelter manager.
All right, who's next?
James Porter, and then Melody Farrick.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. So the nature of my public comment tonight was going to depend on how my last thing went. So let me start with a couple things. Shane, thank you still for the tour. Shane took me on a tour. It was wonderful. I got to see a lot. Rick and Jeff, thank you for communicating with me about my concerns with the shelter. I'm glad that there has been a little positive step forward. Second, let me address something the mayor said. The buck doesn't stop with the council, it stops with the voters. Jeff Droz, you are my councilman, not just my mayor. So when the public talks and asks for things, the obligation of the council is to listen and act on that. So if we don't get transparency from the town, if we can't move forward and learn the information that all of us need to know, that our shelter is not just killing animals endlessly, we have to take some other steps. Now, we can PRA the town until they're blue in the face to get the information we're asking for, or we can ask for a simple report that we're not going to get. That is not a courageous act of an elected body. That's what we're asking for. So if that doesn't happen, the buck stops with the voter. We can remove our council members by vote, or we can recall you. So I would be happy to start a recall movement towards my council member, my mayor, because you will not listen to what the public is asking for. That is my right as a citizen. Now, next, rescues. We've been told that the town reached out to rescues. I am personal friends with the executive director of YAPS, which is a very large rescue organization in Yucca. They sent 2 emails to the Yucca Valley Shelter requesting partnership in the last 2 weeks. Neither were answered. I talked to them tonight. You think this isn't that important and that we don't need to put it on our agendas? Your Trepepi Smith people showed you your statistics. The most viewed video that they showed sharing had 11,000 views. A thing that I posted about the shelter on my personal Facebook without any town follower has been viewed 13,000 times. And I'll be glad to show you those numbers. People care about this, and we expect more of our council. So people like to say stuff like, well, do something about it, right? Do something about it. Put your money where your mouth is. Volunteer. Get out there. Well, we know we can't volunteer, but I did find out, again through public records, that while the public can't volunteer at the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter, inmate workers who are on work release can volunteer there. They can work their time off there. There's inmates working right now at the Yucca Valley Shelter while the public cannot. It baffles me. So I'm going to put some money where my mouth is. I brought $350 with me tonight. The Yucca Valley is currently doing a $35 adoption fee through April 19th. I would like to sponsor all 10 dogs who are currently on Pet Finder, the legacy dogs. With the town's agreement, they will not be euthanized. And I will give that money to Leslie right now. Thank you.
Melody Farrick, and then Susan Herring.
All right.
Hello. Thank you, Town Council of Yucca Valley. My name is Melody Farrick. I'm actually the director of Animal Action League. We are the low-cost spay-neuter up here in Joshua Tree. We have a mobile clinic that serves the Morongo Basin, and then we also travel down to the Coachella Valley doing spay-neuter for low-income areas. We are a nonprofit. We do the vaccines and microchips, and then, of course, the spay-neuter. We have been helping shelters all throughout the Coachella Valley and also the shelters up here. Currently, the 29 Palm Shelter has been hiring us on special private days to do just spay-neuter for the shelter pets. We will be more than happy to help the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. We have not heard from them to do an all-day spay-neuter for just them. They can reach out to me at any time. Our number, we've been doing spay-neuter up in this area since 2005, so over 20 years of spay-neuter in this area. So they can reach out and say, hey, we want to have a whole day of just spay-neuter for the shelter pets of Yucca Valley. And basically, I just wanted to introduce myself, let you know that we love being a part of the community of Yucca Valley and the surrounding areas. So I just wanted to introduce myself and say, spay-neuter, it saves lives.
Thank you.
Susan Herring, and then Marissa Solomon.
Thank you, Susan Herring, Pioneer Town. Thank you, Mr. Dennison. Thank you, Mayor. I love your wife. Thank you so much for her support. We were very encouraged when Pet Finder was updated last night. We saw 17 pets. Thank you so much for whoever did that. We were discouraged this afternoon when that dropped down to 12. Don't know what happened to them. I hope they weren't euthanized. So tonight, I brought 29 Palms Shelter. 29 Palms Shelter is in the Morongo Basin. 29 Palms Shelter takes in many, many strays, and it is not only the city of 29 Palms. It includes the unincorporated areas all the way to the Marine Base, and includes the unincorporated area all the way out to the river. And yes, they do have a contract with the county. They have a challenge, just like the Yucca Valley Shelter does, with stray animals, many not being adoptable, but somehow Rick Boyd, the wonderful manager of 29 Palms Shelter, has the passion and the compassion to lead that shelter, and his goal is a no-kill shelter. This is just a small sample. If you don't follow 29 Palms Shelter, I highly encourage you, because you can get some wonderful ideas on what should be done and the proactiveness that the Yucca Valley Shelter should have been implementing many years ago. Just in the last, well, yesterday, for example, Rick posted 30 dogs adopted within the last 2 weeks. 30 dogs. Down here, 24 dogs adopted from January through March period through rescue outreach. Rescues that came in working with Rick to pull 24 dogs. Here is Coffee with the Dogs. Here is Beer Garden. Come and see in our community. They outreach. They bring their adoptable dogs to the beer garden. What better way to see the local pets? Come to Ace Hardware, see our dogs. Come to the rabies clinic that is coming this Saturday for a low cost of $8 with an outreach from the local vet from VCA. I challenge Yucca Valley. When was the last time you did any community outreach of this nature? So when I am in the community and I have a community member call me just a few days ago about what our shelter manager is communicating to that person, he said, all of this will blow over. Just give it a little time and all these people in your community will go away. Are you going to go away, audience? Okay, and for every person that sits in here are many more people in this community that are out there that have the same message to you. We are not going to go away, and we're not going to accept anything other than a transfer forward. And like I used to tell the employees that work for me, the train's moving down the track. You can either choose to get on it, or it's time to get off and find another job.
Thank you.
Marissa Solomon, and then Candy Moulton.
Hello, my name is Marissa Solomon. I grew up in the Morongo Basin and a Yucca Valley resident. So I just want to talk to you about my experience working with the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. So I don't, not as an employee, but just as a community member. I found a lost dog in the Yucca Mesa area, and I thought, oh, the right thing to do is I can take it to the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Get it off the streets, make sure it doesn't get hit, make sure it's safe. It could be a lost pet, so that's what I did. And I called every day to make sure to see if the dog owner was found and see how it was doing. And I found out that no one reached out. It was actually a stray. And I wanted to make sure, because knowing that Yucca Valley euthanizes dogs, that it would not get euthanized, because it was such a sweet dog and just wanted some love and wanted just to be a dog. So I called every day to make sure to see when the dog was going to be adoptable, and then was told at one point that because it was not doing well in the kennel, not that it had any other behavioral issues, that just because they didn't really like the kennel that much, it was struggling. Obviously under a lot of stress, being a stray going into a kennel for a first time, I would imagine, yes, it would be stress within the kennel. They were thinking that it might go on the euthanasia list, and I asked specifically if I can adopt the dog then, so it would not be euthanized, and I was told no, that it has to go through a rescue organization. And they did not have a set date for that euthanization. And they said to keep calling and to check in because it's going to probably be around like 3 days that they would do it. So I continued to call every day, continued to call rescue organizations to help me to get the dog out of the shelter, to adopt it so it will not be euthanized. And I kept calling every single day. And one day they're like, oh, it's going to happen at the end of the day. It was not the 3 days that they told me. And I continued to work with a rescue organization who was also trying to get the dog out of the shelter. And it was too late because no one at the shelter wanted to return any calls or emails to that organization. They continued to call that organization that I was working with, that rescue, continued to call and try to save the dog, and it was too late, and the dog was euthanized. When I could have just brought it to now knowing to the 29 Palm shelter where it would have been saved, it could have been rescued, and I do not recommend this shelter to anyone. Not only am I a community member, but I'm also a member of Copper Mountain College, where I do work with students, and I will not recommend to any students, faculty, or staff there to ever bring their dog to the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter knowing that they're going to be euthanized when there's members in the community who are trying to rescue these dogs and then they're getting euthanized. And there definitely needs to be more training involved for our staff there to make sure that they're competent in knowing what's going on and making sure we're able to reach out, because we're able to spend, I love to hear that the town council at all the meetings say what good economic standing we're in, but then we don't have enough money to support our local animal shelter.
Thank you.
Candy Moulton, did you want to speak? She left? Okay. We weren't quite sure. Okay, Michael Kennedy is next, and then Christine Bostrom.
Well, Mr. Mayor and council, there's a lot of people here who know a lot more about the particulars of this problem, but the thing that bothers me the most every time I hear about it and read about it, and I'm doing a lot of reading about it, is this constant use of the term euthanasia. This is not euthanasia. These dogs are virtually all healthy. They are not dying. They are not weak. They are not on their last legs. They are murdered. And it is because of convenience killing. And you all are not owning a shelter. That is an engine of death out there. And it has to change. I don't know how many people have dogs, but dogs have souls. They have loves, they have hurts and happinesses, and they want to be kissed and hugged. And the idea that you are sponsoring an engine of death and pretending that there's nothing that can be done while we spending millions of dollars on swimming pools and basketball courts is outrageous. We must not be sponsoring death camps. We need to save these creatures. We have a duty to save lives. And I don't see that duty being carried through very sincerely, very strongly. And it's clear to me from what I read, you have the wrong person running this engine of death. You need to get somebody in there that understands what shelter means, and shelter means taking care of those things who need to be taken care of. And you have a duty to do something about it. The idea that we are locking up creatures and then killing them instead of returning phone calls, instead of letting people adopt them, and instead of looking out for them is outrageous. It's beastly, and it's unacceptable.
Christine Bostrom, and then Allie Irwin.
Thank you.
I am Christine. I have lived in Yucca Valley since 1972. I'm going to start by saying I've never been involved with the political process before, so I'm unfamiliar with it. And let me say, I find it very frustrating, and I walk away wondering if any of us were even heard. But I got involved because animals' lives are very important to me, and they should be important to everyone. God put us in charge to take care of them. We as human beings are doing a horrendous job at that, with trophy hunting, poachers, tortured animals for our food source, and domestic animal abuse. I could go on, but let me get back on track with our shelter and our town's leaders. I believe our representatives are supposed to have a relationship with its people. Any good relationship must have transparency, honesty, and trust. You talk about having transparency, but I only see that with what we have already learned through public records. And honesty, where is that? None of you will even address information we learn, like the Z1077 report. For instance, what did you think about the report? Did you find it truthful? If so, shouldn't Mr. Stukel and Deborah Breidenbach Sterling take the opportunity to defend their actions or lack thereof, or perhaps apologize for dropping the ball and promise to do better moving forward? That would be transparent. How about Doug Smith? Do you find his actions acceptable? If not, why is he still employed there? Shouldn't he be here to explain why he has chosen to kill 54% of dogs and 69% of cats? The worst abusers in a relationship at least acknowledge it, say they're sorry, and promise not to do it again. He has done none of that. We all want to move forward and work together as a team, as I believe it should be, but we need accountability for these actions and the promise to do better and the actual steps you are taking to do that, so we can trust you. There has to be trust in any relationship. Did you get a hold of the Palm Springs manager and vet tech that was here at the last meeting offering their help for free? If so, what was the result of that? If not, why? You said you have reached out for help. Where did you reach out? And what was the result of that? So many people have given you many solutions for your excuses. That's what your reasons are, excuses. Why is this still an issue? We brought this to your attention 2 months ago. There are no excuses that justify killing these animals. I am hoping and praying someone here finds these animals valuable and will fight for them. And when our shelter is finally being run the way it can and should be, like others are, I will be able to say thank you for listening and learning and making the hard decisions to help these innocent animals. I too would like the council to put this shelter on the agenda on each meeting until it's resolved and answer the questions that I've put before you. Thank you.
Allie Irwin, it's your turn, and then after will be Jennifer Howell.
Thank you to that sweet, sweet gentleman who spoke so incredibly. I'm speaking from the heart, but I'm going to read. I apologize. New information, I think. The 90-day review would be more fairly conducted by a third party. Yeah. Because our deputy town manager oversees the shelter and is the boss of the shelter manager, he should not be the one making the report to council. He should not conduct the internal review. A third-party reviewer could be brought in now, in exchange or in a parallel capacity. That third party could be another shelter manager, a former shelter manager, a veterinarian, or maybe someone has another idea who that person could be or team could be. The information that you gather from the assessment will inform your next steps. What if that information is inaccurate? We lack the confidence in the town, in the deputy town manager. We find his negligence in overseeing the shelter and its employees untenable. He is not the right person to conduct the assessment. Another important point. How do we know right now that the shelter is using sedation prior to euthanasia? How do we know that? I'm not sure how we find that out, who can be there. But at this very fragile point in your assessment, we need it verified by a third party. We need that now. Please consider making that motion that the shelter be on your agenda, not to wait for the next 60-day report, but to give the vital information. How many animals were taken in? How many were adopted out? How many were euthanized? Why were they euthanized? Can't you see this is bigger and more important than you are allowing it, really, that you're not listening? I sent this information to every council member. I finally reached the mayor by text late this afternoon. You can't answer my questions now. You're not going to comment after our comments. You didn't respond. We're not stopping. We're going to keep standing here, but it could be so much better, so much more efficient. Right? Right. Okay.
Thank you. And I did respond.
Jennifer Howell, and then Natasha Francis.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I've lived here since 1983. I would like to start by saying I also would like to be on the agenda for the upcoming meetings with transparency and numbers for what is coming in, going out, not making it through, etc. I was so excited and hopeful coming to the last meeting. We were going to learn all the changes you were making to make this a better shelter. The presentation made by Mr. Stuckel was generic and misleading. You picked 3 examples for euthanasia. All were owner surrenders for aggressive behavior. Why were they aggressive? Was it human error? And what about the other hundreds that were inhumanely killed? How about the question that Mr. Abel asked to Mr. Stuckel regarding euthanasia for the hurt animals on the road? His concern was, is it being counted against the record? What about the hundreds of animals not on the side of the road being inhumanely killed? Why did you answer Mr. Abel's question, and why won't you answer any of ours? And Mr. Yakimau, on KESQ News stating that these are unwanted animals, you were talking about the surrendered animals? What about the rest of the animals? Have you let people know that would want them and are looking for a pet know that you have them? Mr. Yakimau, if you see these animals as unwanted, you won't value them, and if you don't value them, you won't fight for them. What about the 69% of the poor cats that were there to find their homes? Were they unwanted too? I keep wondering how all the other shelters that have and are currently making changes are getting their kill rates so low. I believe that they have the right people in place, people that believe that someone does want these animals and are willing to work hard and get them seen and into loving homes. What does the council believe? What does the deputy town manager believe? What does the town manager believe? We all know what Doug Smith believes. Someone please explain to us why and how Doug Smith is still employed here. Do you honestly believe that he is the right person in place to make these changes, to give these animals a chance? Talk about unwanted. See you in 2 weeks.
Natasha Francis, and then we'll have Joey Marie Soto.
Good evening. My name is Natasha Francis. I currently live in Yucca Valley, but I'm a 40-year resident of the Morongo Basin. I started kindergarten here in 1986. I also graduated from high school and college here. A lot has changed here in the last 40 years, as we all know, but a lot of things are still the same. One thing that hasn't changed is our small town chit-chat. You don't need to be on social media to get the tea around here. We've all seen the petition going around. I didn't see this petition on social media. I saw this petition while I was having lunch at one of our local dog-friendly restaurants. I don't know the person that started the petition. I've never even met her. But I can tell you that people were discussing this particular issue when I entered the restaurant on that day, and that petition now has over 500 signatures. I would like to know who is in charge of allowing, or in this case, denying a volunteer program for our Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. Does Doug Smith make that decision to deny the volunteers, or does somebody else? We keep hearing about how volunteers could be a liability. An inmate, a person who has been incarcerated for committing crimes, is not a liability, but I am. That's very interesting to me. Every other shelter in this basin allows volunteers. I've actually brought forms. Are we allowed to pass these out? This is a double. This is a single. I'm providing forms from Joshua Tree No Kill Shelter and also Palms and Paws in 29 Palms. This form is all you have to sign to volunteer. That's it. So simple that my 14-year-old niece filled one out all by herself last year and has been volunteering since that time. There is no acceptable excuse to deny the animals and the staff the free help that we can offer that they desperately need. We noticed Pet Finder was updated yesterday for the first time in months. We appreciate that very much. Mr. Droz, we appreciate you and your wife very much for listening to us, responding to us on social media. It means a lot. Thank you very much. If anyone thinks this is going to blow over now or anytime soon, think again. I make my own schedule. James Porter makes his own schedule. Greg and Susan Herring and my good friend here in the second row, we all make our own schedules. We'll be here every Tuesday for the next 8 years, if that's what it takes. Also, I can see this building from my kitchen window. If my car breaks down, I can walk. Please keep updating Pet Finder. Please allow volunteers and rescue groups. Once you decide to make the right decisions, we will decide to spend our Tuesday nights elsewhere.
Joey Marie, it's your turn. And then we'll have Valia Kendovich.
I think somebody's missing.
Okay, Valia, your turn.
So I wore my best friend's shirt today. So we talked about that, if you remember. Tora Edwards was sharing the fact that it was only $25, and she encouraged the Yucca Valley Shelter or the town council to show up, neither of which showed up, by the way. YAPS was there, Santa Barbara, a number of different animal shelters were there. There were about 350. It was $25 and free parking. Come on. So anyway, so I went. Turns out I met the CEOs in 1992 in LA. Spent about an hour and a half with the three CEOs from Best Friends we were reminiscing about back then. And they all said, you know, we tried to work with Yucca Valley Shelter. They won't work with us. Now, those are the CEOs. I wasn't talking to the little people, whatever. It was an amazing, life-affirming situation. I asked the Santa Barbara directors who were there presenting if Doug Smith could call them personally to help get some direction and learn a little bit how to have a no-kill shelter, and they said, absolutely. I said, I'm going to bring it up at the town council meeting in front of God and everybody. They said, no problem. So I'd be more than happy to give that information to Doug Smith so he can call and get some information on how to make a no-kill shelter. Volunteers and collaborators were some of the big things that were discussed that day. How it allows shelters to be able to not have to staff up, not have to speak about budget items, this and that, just getting volunteers to help, to clean, to walk the dogs, which helps them decompress. One of the things you keep hearing about the animals and why they're euthanized in Yucca Valley is they're stressed. Well, they're stressed because I know James had mentioned during his walkthrough, you can't even fit a Kuranda bed in some of those large dog enclosures. None of us have been allowed to walk in the back, so I can't even tell you what that looks like. But a Kuranda bed is not that big. So if you're taking a large dog and shoving it in a small thing with no interaction, and yeah, I guess that's going to add to the euthanasia. I noticed that you have a graphic artist person for half hour talk about all the services they provide, but yet you say we don't have that available for the animal shelter multimedia. Again, it was spoken about that you have this comprehensive council list of community action list. Why isn't the shelter on there? You've got literally a whole page of, Mr. Drozd is doing some, Mr. Schooler. How come the shelter's not on there? I mean, really? The last thing is, it takes 2 hours to learn the data entry system for the upload into Pet Finder.
Cheyenne May, and then Lauren Stalbaugh.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne May, a Yucca Valley resident. Of course, I'm here to talk about the animal shelter. At one point, at one of these meetings, I heard, I forget who, say something to the effect of, well, this has been a problem at the shelter for a while. Why does everyone care all of a sudden? And I just can't get that out of my head, because only you all could have known what a problem it really was, because in order to get these statistics on what's going on in our shelter, you have to do a Public Records Act request, which is ridiculous. Almost every other shelter out there, even the highest kill of shelters, at the very least post their yearly statistics on their website. There's just absolutely been no transparency in what was going on in our shelter beforehand. And it's taken the citizens here to figure it out and doing those requests. So you all were the ones that presumably knew what was happening, unless really you guys really weren't paying attention, which is a shame if that was the case. And you did nothing. So how could we have known that the stats were as awful as they were? I knew it was bad. I've always known it was bad, but I was absolutely devastated when I saw those numbers, especially this past week when I saw the stats for cats. It was heartbreaking in every sense. But I'm glad that you're all paying attention now and doing something about it, even if for some of you it might just be because of all of the public outrage. I've invited Shane to come down and tour the Palm Springs Animal Shelter, which he has taken me up on. I did respond today. And I hope a few others of you will come down as well as your schedule allows. And I'd love to show you our shelter software and how easy and how much time it can save you all at the shelter, and discuss simple, cheap, and sometimes free resources and programs that we use that can help positively impact the shelter right now while you work on those longer-term solutions. As I've said before, I'm just a concerned resident with 15 years of professional animal welfare experience who just wants to help. I understand the stress of an overcrowding shelter, especially with large dogs. I understand that it's not easy to access spay and neuter resources and vet care around here. I understand there's some things we can't control, like the animals that walk through our door. But none of that is an excuse for the atrocious euthanasia numbers at the shelter. And there's so much you can do right now, not 90 days, to help mitigate all these common struggles that shelters across the nation are facing right now, and treat our animals better. And you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. If you would only have accepted previous offered help from organizations like Best Friend, they could have helped with all of this.
Lauren Stalbaugh.
Good evening, Council. My name is Lauren Stambaugh. I've lived here for 12 years. My grandfather lived in 29 Palms, so I've been coming out here my whole life. The first meeting I came to, there was talk of a moratorium on euthanasia while we were doing this investigation, and I want to know what happened to that. Until someone's qualified to make these calls, I don't think any animal should be murdered, like Mr. Kennedy said. Until someone that we feel like is in the place to do it. Number two, I'm wondering why the person who put us in this mess is leading the investigation. Doug Smith is the hand doing the bad deeds for sure, but as James Porter pointed out at our last meeting, This is a managerial issue from the top. Two people have known about this for 5 years, and they did nothing. And you want us to sit here and listen to the person that did nothing 5 years ago. And he's responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of animals being torturously murdered. I would like to hear from someone else, and it sounds like everybody else here wants to hear from somebody else with the shelter updates. I agree that the shelter should be on every agenda until we're satisfied with the way things are going. This doesn't end when the investigation is over. It's beginning, because that's when the changes are really going to start needing to happen. We're here anyways. You're going to be hearing our comments anyways, so why don't we just put it on the agenda, and that way we can have our questions answered and leave here feeling a little bit better about what's happening. That's all I had, just so I have time. I did adopt Roshki from the shelter, so he's safe. He's still on Pet Finder, even though he's had a home for 3 weeks, so thank you.
All right, is there anyone online? Yes,
we have 3 online speakers. We're going to start first with Eric Menendez. I've requested you to unmute. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Eric.
Yeah, I just wanted to also comment about number one, community engagement. I think the report from your partner that you I can't remember the name, Triple. Anyways, they're very, it's very, I appreciate the work they do for the city, because I think your communication and attempt to engage a community is great. I do want to chat, sorry, this light in the background. I do want to support the calls for some transparency with the animal shelter. I know that as a community member and as someone who spent, a quarter of my life working in healthcare, human welfare is very similar to animal welfare. And I know that there are a lot of liabilities and so forth that go with it. And I did want to comment that I did appreciate Mayor Drost, your addressing this topic today at breakfast at Soda with the mayor, because you did kind of talk about the town working on a volunteer, exploring everything that goes into that. And I know the town is going to do the right thing. So I think it's important for the public to know that you're working on that, and so forth. And in that sense, I just wanted to, one of the things that I just wanted to also put out there for the public is the chamber is having their mixer this week. It's on the 17th. I think it's in the evening. I don't know the exact times. I think it's like 5 to 8 or something, but it's going to be hosted at the healthcare district at their offices on La Contenta. And as a community member who works in healthcare and so forth, and someone who now sits on the community board there, I think it's important that the public, or any business people or whoever, that everyone hopefully joins us to maybe learn a little more about what the healthcare district does and the great care they provide the community. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. And who's next?
Okay, we have Catherine Engelbreton next. I have requested you to unmute. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ingebretson. I've been a resident in Morongo Valley for 11 years now, and I have just become aware of the mass euthanasias that are going on with this particular animal shelter. And it's not just me, the community is outraged. And hearing everybody speak has got me even more outraged. It's terrible. I feel that a lot of the things that other speakers have mentioned, I agree with. Maybe a third party assessment would be a better idea than to have the guy that's doing everything assess himself. I think maybe this shelter should be changed to a no-kill shelter, because people are abusing the euthanasia option. There are other no-kill shelters. There's ways to make that happen. There's a lot of money being spent in this whole meeting, like some of the other speakers mentioned. on necessary things, basketball courts and whatnot, roads and stuff. But maybe a little bit of money could be spent on a larger facility. So the dogs, they would be able to keep more dogs, keep them there for a longer time. More events, okay? More events, like at Walmart or something with low cost or even free dogs once or twice a month, that have all their shots and they're they're being fixed by the Animal Action League. I know personally at one point I was going to adopt a dog and it was upwards of $100. And because of the inflation and stuff, we couldn't do it. And, but we would have. We have a 2-acre yard. We have 4 dogs already and they're well cared for. They have, um, all their medical needs. They always have food and love and everything. We would have taken that dog at that time, but that barrier of having a high adoption fee was just not going to work at that moment in my life. But at this time, having a free adoption for animals that are at risk for euthanasia is a start. Okay, I mean, it seems like, oh, if we can't get $40 or $100 for an adoption, we're just gonna euthanize it. That's terrible.
Catherine, your,
Uh,
your time is up. Your 3 minutes. Thank you. Who's next?
Yeah, so I actually have 2 more speakers. Next up is going to be Tora Edwards. I have requested you to unmute. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, thank you. Again, I am Tora Edwards. I run a local nonprofit dog rescue. Yes, as Valia mentioned, we were at the Best Friends No Kill Summit 2 weekends ago at the Sheraton. It was several hundred people were there. In the ballroom, it was a beautiful conference center at the Sheraton Hotel, and it was full. The founders of Best Friends Animal Society, which has become a well-known animal sanctuary in Kanab, Utah, were all there to share their experiences. Also, Supervisor Perez from Riverside County was at the conference, and he has vowed to make Riverside Animal Shelter a no-kill shelter. And yes, we did ask someone from our local government and our local shelter to go, and we were disappointed they weren't there. As Valia mentioned, it was only $25, and as well as the free parking, there was a beautiful gourmet vegan lunch served, and also appetizers and a free bar at the end. We were very well treated. It was a beautiful event. The training and the learning that we received was effective and instructional. It was so many people who care about the issues surrounding the beloved animals in our community. There was a good mix of people involved with animal welfare, as Valia mentioned, as in shelters and other rescue groups, as well as many citizens who are concerned. Again, it was a great event, and I would highly recommend it if we're lucky enough to have it come around again. I would also like to emphasize Melody Farnick's testimony this evening. Melody Farnick, as the director of Animal Action League, is our local nonprofit, low-cost spay and neuter mobile clinic. We are so fortunate to have Animal Action League here in Joshua Tree in the high desert. Animal Action League has been operating for 20 years here in the desert. We are, again, spay and neuter has got to be the foundation of saving lives, and a lot more emphasis and attention needs to be given to spay neuter as a core step in lowering our populations of homeless dogs and cats. It is very hard to get an appointment at Animal Action League during the clinics that are now available. As Melody suggested, Animal Action League can be rented for the day at a very affordable price, by the way, cost, very affordable, to bring low-cost spay neuter to our local citizens. Animal Action League is local. It is a win-win situation. I would strongly like to suggest that we implement the services of Animal Action League as many days as they can allow us every month. I had lost a dog at one time and went once, and I went to the shelter to see if the pup was there, our local Yucca Valley shelter. Shelter workers there told me a dog had been brought in that had been hit on the road and found dead that day. They took me back to the container where they keep the dogs and cats and other animals that have been euthanized. They had the big doors wide open, and first the smell reached me. Then my eyes focused
Tanya,
on-
your time is up. I'm sorry. I hate to
I'm
interrupt
almost
you.
done. I would like to finish. Thank you. Then my eyes focused on the piles and piles of dead dogs. Every kind of beautiful, beautiful dog. There were oil drums packed high and tall and spilling over with dead kittens. Each dog, cat, and animal is a treasure. I don't believe any of us want to see our beloved companion animals to meet this fate. Let's get much more spay and neuter
Okay, thank
available
you
to
very
the
much.
community through utilization.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, so we have Emmy Wonderpup. I've requested you to unmute, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, my name is Melissa Spur, and I wanted to come to the meeting tonight, but I wasn't feeling well. But I really agree with everyone who has spoken so far about and this is my dog Emmy, and I am speaking as the voice of Emmy, and I am so proud of everyone who has come out to be the voices of the voiceless. This is just unconscionable. And it's just sick that this has been allowed to go on even 1 minute longer than it should. My brother, about 12 years ago, we saw when they used to advertise dogs for the Yucca Valley shelter in the High Desert Star, we saw this cute little Chihuahua. My brother drove out from San Diego, adopted the Chihuahua. She had a beautiful life. She was kind of aggressive. She had bad teeth, but she was adoptable. And they had her for many years, and she was a great addition to our family. And I shudder to think of what would have happened if she were in the shelter right now. And I agree with what, yeah, that's right, Emmy. I agree with what Mr. Kennedy said about it being a death camp. That's what I thought when I read the statistics about the euthanasia. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that it? Okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak one more time? That's actually here in the, or not one more time, yeah, for the first time. So anybody, come on up. If you have not spoken before.
No.
Okay.
Hello. It is nice to see a lot of you again. Unfortunately, this is what it has come to. Just today, I had somebody looking over a resume, my resume, a potential employer, and the first thing they said was, "Wow, you worked at an animal shelter. What was that like?" And their eyes were gleaming, hoping that I would say it was really fun, but I said it was exhausting. 56% is terrible. I agree. I don't think anybody in this room thinks that 56% is okay. I can say that I was there for about 36% of that because, yeah, it's not fun. It's not something anybody wants to do. I had to go through months and months of therapy to get over that. I think it's important for the town council, if any of you guys could look into the way that dogs are euthanized, cats are euthanized. Please look into why there is such a bad turnover rate at the shelter. Employees do not last more than 3 years, and if they do, it is very, very impressive to see. I don't know what else to say, actually. I had a lot to say before coming up here, and now I don't know. I invite a lot of you to please, I'm glad that James Porter donated $360. However, I will say that I go to the shelter almost every weekend. I can't volunteer, but I still request to pull out dogs to play with. I speak for Kita, I speak for Chance, I speak for a lot of the animals that jump at the door to beg someone to take them out. And it's not the shelter staff's fault, because they're severely understaffed all the time. But I beg at least 10 people to take up that $360 to show up to the shelter. Every time I go, it is me, and if I'm lucky, one other person to show up. People need to show up. If you don't want to take animals to the shelter, that's fine. But at least spread the word to go adopt. You guys aren't boycotting Doug Smith by not adopting animals. It's the animals that are suffering the consequences, because with time, they get sick, they become depressed, they become aggressive. I am telling you because I worked there for 3 years. You guys have to go adopt. Otherwise, nobody pays the repercussions for that other than the animals. Please take that into consideration, and thank you.
Thank you. Was there someone else?
Hi, my name is Ryan. I work at the animal shelter. I've worked there for about a year now. I live in 29 Palms. Like everyone else is saying, the shelter is extremely short-staffed right now. There's only 2 animal control officers, me being one of them. And I just want to say, like, I know a lot of people at the shelter, they want to change, they want to do the right thing, and they want to put in the legwork to do so. I don't have much to say other than that, I guess, but I would like to thank everyone for their time and for their words.
Thank you. Next.
I want to see if I could, my name is Revi, and I work for the animal shelter in Yucca Valley. There's nothing strange about the public asking for stats, right? There's nothing weird about asking for who's on the youth list. If I had the time, I'd be more than happy to take a picture of every single dog. But we are extremely understaffed, and I want you guys to understand that we don't have the resources right now, and we want it. And Doug has been asking that for years, and nobody sees that. I know. But there's just so much that needs to be changed, and we agree. We're not against you. But know that this is, but I want to also let the public know that I hear you. And like, for example, Bubba's alive. He's okay. We're just trying to find a bully rescue because he went for someone's face, So what do we do when we have a situation like that, right? And we have 5 pigs. If anybody in this room, please, if you need pigs. We have 5 pigs. I contacted 25 rescues. All of them said, we're booked, or not booked, like busy, or we're over, we have too many pigs. We'll just share your pictures. And we lose hope with all these rescues. And if you guys can help us, oh my God, please. But we lose a lot of hope, So a volunteer program would be awesome. I think that for some higher ups, some trust gets lost just because of what we see. So people are constantly abandoning their animals in conditions I don't even want to talk about. So if our own people are doing that, we get scared. Who's going to come in? Someone threw a bulldog over the fence the other day. And we have to take care of their infections. And you guys don't get to see that, and I wish you would, And I'm crying alone in pig pens by myself, So, yeah, volunteers would be awesome, and transparency, showing them who's on the youth list would be great. It's okay, So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that has not spoken? Hi.
I'm glad to see your faces from the back of the room. It's kind of blurry. All I can see is, the top of your head sometimes. My name is Jeannie Deach, and I live in Yucca Valley. Back in January, I saw a post on Nextdoor that a couple of women who own a store at the corner of Pioneer Town Road and the highway had found a stray. And it was a nice-looking dog. They said it was very sweet. And so I stayed in touch with the shelter, called to see if anyone had come for it. I actually went down there and was told that this dog was vicious and unadoptable. And when the 7-day hold was up, it would not be up for adoption. So I called Wendy at the no-kill shelter, and the two girls that found the dog sent her videos and assured her that this was not a vicious dog. Obviously, it was stressed. And I want you to see the face of Clementine. She now has an adoption pending through the no-kill shelter. I tried to call Doug Smith many times over that week. He never returned my calls. Also, Wendy, the executive director of the no-kill shelter, tried reaching him. He never returned her call. It took me and the two women that found him, and finally Wendy, to get this dog into foster with a no-kill shelter. So I'm just saying that he just stonewalled us, and they told us she was unadoptable before they even had done an assessment, a temperament assessment. So there's a big disconnect here. And that was my first, contact with that shelter. And I've been in rescue for 20 years, and this is the worst shelter. It's like a black hole. So.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak that has not spoken yet?
Is that right?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Christy from Yucca Valley. I've been here 19 years. My question is, where are all these bodies of all these animals going? And it just breaks my heart. I really hope we could do something. I would go with you guys to Palm Springs and learn the program, and I would help you implement it. And that's all I gotta say. Thanks.
Thank you. And is that it? Okay, well, thank you, everyone, for your comments. We
Mayor?
really appreciate it.
Mayor, excuse me, I'm
Yes.
sorry. We do have a request if you would grant additional 2 minutes to someone that has already spoke.
I don't think we should, because then we have to do it to everybody. So they can email me, they can email the council members and get their point across. So anyway, thank you, everybody. So let's see if we have staff reports and comments.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We just have a couple quick comments for you this evening. Sue, you want to talk quickly about events for this coming weekend?
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. This weekend, we do have the Extravaganza on Saturday, the 19th. Starts at 9:30 sharp. Come and see the Easter Bunny. And then after that, we have Earth Day, same day, so go right from the field. We call it the fastest event we have, because it doesn't take them very long to grab that candy. You can go directly over to the High Desert Nature Museum for their Earth Day celebration. They'll have information from local conservation organizations, crafts, upcycled art projects, create some seed bombs, decorate a reusable tote, all sorts of fun activities, and that's from 10 to 2 here at the community center.
Thanks, Sue. Appreciate that. Alex, Deborah, anything tonight? All right. Sergeant Carpenter, anything? Okay. Mayor, just a couple quick comments. I know the hour is late this evening. Maybe somebody can grab those back doors and close them for me. That'd be terrific, so we can hear. Thank you. Just a reminder for the council and the public, the the Fish and Game Commission meeting is occurring tomorrow on April 16th. One of the agenda items is an update on the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Plan. Town staff has provided comments and input on some of the changes and the summary of changes that they've provided after their last couple of public outreach meetings. Somewhat related, I had the opportunity to sit down with Epoch Times for an interview. We did that last week on Thursday. Not exactly certain on the timing of that release, of how that's going to go, but they were interested in really the boots on the ground, how the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act, as well as the interpretation of that act or CISA, is affecting local residents in their use of the property. So we're hopeful that that will shed a little bit of light on some of the frustrations that our residents have faced. And then lastly, Mayor and Council had the opportunity to meet with your sheriff, Sheriff Dykes. We have an annual meeting with the city managers that are contract cities. In general, in terms of upcoming Schedule A costs, the news was positive, but there are still some unknowns. We also had the opportunity to hear from the sheriff on some of the state issues, as well as legislative concerns that are out there related to public safety, as well as some of the different initiatives that both the sheriff and the Board of Supervisors are working towards. So it was very helpful and encouraging to have that meeting this afternoon. Mayor, that's it.
All right, thank you. Mayor and council member reports and comments. Councilmember Dennison.
No comments tonight.
Councilmember Lombardo.
I want to thank the public for coming out and speaking. The only way we know of problems is when they're brought to us or we find them through investigations. And I hope that the public can be patient with us while we gather the information to make good decisions. I want to thank the Welcome Center for the fine work they're doing for promoting the town and trying to bring unity to the community and to put our best foot forward to the public. I want to thank the staff for all their hard work, and it's getting a lot accomplished currently. I want to reach out to the staff of the animal shelter, and it's a stressful time, I'm sure. We have faith that we can make this better, and together we will. Thank you.
Councilmember Schooler.
Yeah, I appreciate the work of the California Welcome Center. Again, I think they've done remarkable things to increase tourism here and to boost our local economy. Love to see the progress on the Aquatics and Recreation Center. I did have the opportunity to stop in and tour the museum's Waste to Wonder exhibit, and I think that's up until May 10th. I recommend anybody go take a look at that exhibit. It's really inspiring and creative. Did have a shout out to High Desert Water District staff. I've had a lot of interaction with them lately to talk about the sewer infrastructure going in, and they've been very helpful, and I know that's a big project, and they're getting a lot of inquiries and feedback, but they've been real good about taking the time to help me out. Had the opportunity to tour the shelter with the mayor last week, and I appreciate all the public comment. I think that's the way the process goes, is the public brings that issue to our attention. The council reacts to that by instructing staff to do a review, and staff is doing that review and giving us reports, and from there we will take some action based on those recommendations. So I thank staff for being organized in their approach, not shooting from the hip, but having an organized approach to solving the problem. And I think the town has a really good track record about taking issues on any number of subjects and working through the process and coming to a reasonable resolution. So just appreciate staff's work on that. And again, I know other council members have said this, and I as well. If any member of the public wants to reach out and discuss any of those issues or any other issue, I'm available, especially anybody in my district, District 1, at the west end of town. I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with anybody to discuss those issues. So with that, I think that's all my comments for tonight.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
I want to thank the staff for putting together a council meeting tonight with a lot of very interesting, informative things, a lot of interesting projects, and I'm very pleased to see how we're moving forward. We have a lot of issues, obviously. We heard from some citizens tonight about one of those issues, but I just really want to reiterate to the staff, not just the staff at the shelter, but also the entire town staff. Our council, or at least me, I'm speaking for myself, have a lot of confidence in all of you. We really appreciate each and every one of you. I know how hard you work. I thought it was really eye-opening to hear about the stress that some people have to go through in that particular department. And so I would like to encourage them to hang tough. We're going to work with them and for them to bring forward positive changes that the community is going to appreciate, they're going to appreciate. Nobody goes into that field of work if they don't have a love or compassion for animals. And it is a very, very hard job to do. And I'm not sure I could do it. I could do it for a short period of time, but it would take too much of a toll on me. I know how I am. So I do want to tell them I appreciate them very, very much. And Shane, your leadership throughout the decades have been such a fantastic leader for us. You oversee a whole lot of departments, and I have 1,000% confidence in you. And I've seen you in action. I've seen you take constructive criticism, I think, and you have reacted well to it, and you've made our town even better because of those things and your willingness to work hard and to take a good, close look. So I have complete confidence in our evaluation process, and I have complete confidence that once we make our suggestions, that we'll have staff that is not kicking against that, but are very much in favor of moving forward and implementing those things. And I think we're going to have a lot of great changes, and I appreciate the process. It's painful, but it's all part of growing. If growing is a painful process, and growth comes from understanding and listening and evaluating, and I think that's a healthy thing for any organization.
And I just want to say I anticipate a lot of great changes also to come out of this. So that's a good thing. And I want to thank everyone for their hard work, everyone over here and everyone over there. So thank you. You guys inspire me. And I want to say that I'm just going to say one thing about the animal shelter. When I went there last Tuesday with Councilmember Schooler, when I left, it was rather depressing because the shelter was full there. And now I hear that the adoptions have went down since this issue started. So are people not adopting because of this issue, which kind of is the opposite of the way it should be going. They should be helping out and finding people to adopt animals. But I look forward to making a lot of great changes, and I'll leave it at that. So the next meeting of the Yucca Valley Town Council will be held Tuesday, May 6, 2025 at 5 p.m. right here in the Yucca Room. Meeting adjourned.